family farm, the true tree of the immortal dragon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26, Blackfire Ginseng. Continuing to go deeper into the secret realm, Ye Changsheng found a hidden valley with the guidance on the map. The valley was filled with a strong aura of fire element, which was an ideal environment for the growth of Zuanhuo Ginseng. When he approached, he saw a Zuanhuo Ginseng about the height of a person standing at the bottom of the valley. The ginseng body was dark red, and the ginseng whiskers on it twisted and bent like burning flames, releasing bursts of scorching breath. Guarding this precious spiritual medicine was a pair of Zuan wolves, who were covered with thick mud shells, and their eyes were like two muddy gems, emitting dangerous light. The appearance of this pair of Zuan wolves forced Ye Changsheng to deal with them carefully. They were first-class upper-grade monsters with extremely strong earth attribute power and defense capabilities. Ye Changsheng knew that he had to defeat them quickly, otherwise a Zuanhuo Ginseng could not be picked smoothly. He first sent out two pathfinder puppets to distract the Zuan wolves, and at the same time began to arrange the attack formation. The two pathfinder puppets swayed left and right in front of the Zuan wolves, causing their attention to change constantly. At the same time, Ye Changsheng took out the flame and mud talismans from his storage bag and set up the formation. The interference of the pathfinder puppet made the black earth wolf very angry. They pounced on it, but they could not catch the shadow of the pathfinder puppet. At the moment when they relaxed their vigilance a little, Ye Changsheng activated the mud talisman, and a quagmire suddenly formed, firmly sticking the front paws of the black earth wolf. Then the flame talisman exploded in the air, and the raging flames rolled towards the bodies of the two black earth wolves. They struggled desperately, but the restraint of the mud made it difficult for them to move. At this time, Ye Changsheng summoned the silver armor guard puppet to join the battle. The puppet raised its arms and smashed the head of the black earth wolf. The lightning strikes with lightning and lightning made the two wolves retreat again and again, and one of the black earth wolves was knocked to the ground. In a mess the other black earth wolf was still struggling and trying to break through, but the double attack of the mud talisman and the flame talisman made it impossible for them to dodge. Ye Changsheng seized the opportunity and quickly ignited the flame with the flame talisman. The whole battle ended quickly under the alternating attacks of explosions and flames. The struggles of the two black earth wolves gradually subsided, and they fell into the formation. Ye Changsheng stepped forward, stripped off their fur and bones for refining materials, and dug up the 500-year-old Blackfire Ginseng, and put it into the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree with roots and soil. After Ye Changsheng harvested the black earth ginseng, he did not stay for long, and immediately drove the flying sword and galloped along the deep path of the secret realm. The scenery in the secret realm was like a moving picture scroll, slowly unfolding in front of him. He shuttled between the lush ancient trees, which were towering into the clouds, with lush branches and leaves, forming a natural green dome. The sunlight shone through the gaps in the treetops, casting mottled light and shadows, adding a bit of mystery to this ancient forest. Occasionally, the call of monsters came from the forest, crisp and distant, echoing in the empty forest, making the secret realm more quiet and profound. Ye Changsheng flew over a piece of gorgeous flower sea. The colorful flowers swayed in the breeze, exuding bursts of refreshing fragrance. 5 color flowers. First level mid-grade spiritual medicine. They are not only beautiful, but also contain rich 5-element spiritual energy, which is a good material for alchemy. Ye Changsheng stopped beside a clear stream. The stream was gurgling, and a few green lotus leaves floated on the water. Occasionally, spiritual fish jumped out of the water, splashing circles of ripples. He found a precious spiritual herb here, water spiritual grass, a first level mid-grade spiritual herb. Its leaves are as green as emerald, exuding a faint water attribute spiritual power. Continuing forward, Ye Changsheng harvested several other spiritual herbs one after another. On a rocky cliff, he found a golden stone flower growing in the cracks of the rocks, a first-grade spiritual medicine. Its petals were as hard as iron, and shone with a metallic luster in the depths of a hidden cave. He picked a first-grade nether grass that emitted a faint blue light. This spiritual grass has an irreplaceable role in refining soul pills. Finally, Ye Changsheng found a bunch of old purple ginseng near a spiritual vein with abundant spiritual energy. This spiritual ginseng is an extremely rare treasure for cultivators who practice fire attributed exercises. After a whole day of exploration, Ye Changsheng reaped a lot. When he just walked out of the spiritual vein and came to a mountain stream, his steps suddenly stopped. His eyebrows frowned slightly, sensing that the spiritual energy fluctuations around him seemed a little strange. With a hint of subtle cunning, he slowed down his pace and looked around vigilantly, realizing that he might have been ambushed. There was a depressing atmosphere in the air, as if even the birdsong and wind in the mountains and forests were still. At this moment, a feminine and threatening voice came from the front. Fellow Daoist, we are disciples of Yuming Valley. It seems that you have gained a lot in this secret realm. I wonder if you can share some with us. Ye Changsheng looked up and saw 3 monks wearing blue robes of Yuming Valley standing not far in front. Their eyes flashed with coldness, like lurking hunters staring at their prey. They slowly approached, revealing a tacit coordination in their steps, blocking Ye Changsheng's retreat and surrounding him. The leading disciple smiled, but the smile hid a sharp blade. We have no intention of making things difficult for you. We just need you to give us a few spiritual medicines. Otherwise, he sneered, and the threat was evident in his words. Ye Changsheng knew that the disciples of Yuming Valley were not good people, and they intended to lure him to death. He smiled calmly, with a gleam in his eyes. Your disciples are really straightforward, but I'm not someone who will be bullied. Use whatever tricks you have. The leading disciple saw that Ye Changsheng refused to give in. His face darkened, and he shouted angrily, "You are looking for death." Then, he controlled the flying sword to attack. The sword light cut through the air and rushed towards Ye Changsheng with a sharp whistling sound. Ye Changsheng was well prepared and quickly sacrificed the silver armor guard puppet to block in front of him, and at the same time, threw out several mud talismans and binding talismans, trapping the 3 Yuming Valley disciples in the flames and quagmire. At the same time, he threw out 3 fire dragon talismans, and 3 fire dragons roared out and rushed straight to the opponent. The hot breath of the fire dragon distorted the surrounding air with the power to burn everything. The 3 Yuming Valley disciples saw the fire dragon attacking and immediately scattered to avoid it. The leading disciple quickly waved his sword, and the spiritual energy condensed into a shield, barely blocking the attack of a fire dragon. But the other 2 disciples were obviously weaker, burned by the flames, and retreated in embarrassment. Ye Changsheng seized the opportunity and urged the silver armor guard puppet to attack head-on again. The silver armor guard puppet's arms swept out like steel, knocking a disciple back and hitting the rock wall hard. With gravel flying, he gritted his teeth and stood up, wanting to fight back, but saw that Ye Changsheng had taken out the heavenly thunder sun. The leading disciple felt the danger and exclaimed, "Retreat quickly," but it was too late. Heavenly thunder, break. Ye Changsheng shouted coldly, activated the heavenly thunder sun, and instantly a piece of lightning exploded above their heads. The lightning spread like a spider web, covering the 3 people in it. The mighty thunder instantly electrified them black, and they screamed. At this moment, Ye Jiu, who arrived by flying boat, seeing that the 3 Yuming Valley disciples had been defeated by thunder, he threw a heavenly thunder without hesitation. Don't hold back, get rid of them completely. The second heavenly thunder exploded around them, and in the thunderous sound, the 3 Yuming Valley disciples were blown to ashes, leaving no bones. Ye Jiu, who stepped forward to check the surroundings, and after confirming that there were no other ambushes, he turned to Ye Changsheng and said, "These Yuming Valley disciples are really insidious and cunning. Thanks to your caution, otherwise I'm afraid they would really fall into their trap." Ye Changsheng nodded and said with lingering fear, "Thanks to Grandpa for arriving in time. Otherwise I'm afraid it would be difficult to deal with it. This is also thanks to the 1,000 miles thread in the heart-to-heart jade you gave me. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to find you so quickly." Ye Jiu, who said after the battle, Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiu, who quickly collected the spoils and quickly left the battlefield. They knew that the battle fluctuations in the secret realm might attract the attention of more cultivators, and they had to leave as soon as possible. Chapter 27 Millennium Stone Marrow Fluid. In the following days, Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu continued to explore according to the map of Xianji Pavilion Point as the two continued to explore. In the depths of the secret realm, Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu found a winding ancient underground passage point. The torches on the walls of the passage flickered with a faint light point. Their footsteps echoed in the empty passage, accompanied by the sound of dripping water from afar. And there was a mysterious atmosphere point. After half an hour of journey, they finally walked out of the passage, and the eyes suddenly opened up, and a huge underground hall appeared in front of them. Point in the center of the hall, a stone platform was surrounded by countless runes, emitting a faint light. A trace of surprise flashed in Ye Changsheng's eyes. This was the immortal ruins they were looking for. However, their eyes were fixed on the mysterious stone door above the stone platform point. The stone door was engraved with a complex star map, and the stars were connected by light, forming a huge formation point. Ye Changsheng stepped forward and gently touched the stone door, and a trace of spiritual power flowed out from his fingertips and wandered along the lines of the star map point. Suddenly, the star map emitted a dazzling light, and the stone door slowly opened, revealing a stone staircase leading down. Point they walked down the stone staircase carefully, and came to a huge underground space. It was full of humid air and the smell of soil. At the end of the stone staircase was a square covered with vines and weeds. In the center of the square, a stone platform stood alone, covered with moss, but under the moss, some strange runes could be vaguely seen. Ye Changsheng walked forward and gently pushed away the moss on the stone platform, and the runes appeared, emitting a faint blue light. He was about to observe carefully, when suddenly, the ground around the stone platform began to shake, and a beam of light rose from the stone platform, separating him and Ye Jiuhu. Changsheng, be careful. Ye Jiuhu's voice came from a distance, but was immediately swallowed by the light. Ye Changsheng's heart tightened. He knew that they had triggered some kind of mechanism in the ruins. He quickly retreated and observed his surroundings vigilantly. After the light faded, he found himself in a closed space, and Ye Jiuhu had disappeared. Grandpa, Ye Changsheng called out loudly, but only the echo answered. He took a deep breath and calmed down, knowing that he had to face the next challenge alone. His eyes fell on the stone platform again, and the light of the rune seemed to guide him forward. Ye Changsheng followed the guidance of the rune, and began to arrange the spirit stones on the stone platform. Every time a spirit stone was placed, the light of the rune became brighter. When he placed the last spirit stone, the whole stone platform suddenly made a deafening roar, and a light gate appeared on the stone platform. Ye Changsheng stepped into the light gate without hesitation, and the scenery in front of him changed. He came to a trial field full of puppets. In the trial field, stone puppets were arranged neatly. Their eyes were empty, but they exuded a compelling momentum. Ye Changsheng clenched the long sword in his hand. He knew that this would be a difficult battle. He took a deep breath, and the spiritual power in his body began to circulate, and a sword light condensed on the tip of the sword. Come on, he shouted and rushed towards the group of puppets. The battle was about to break out, and Ye Changsheng's figure shuttled through the group of puppets, and every swing of the sword was accompanied by the sound of breaking through the air. Although the stone puppets were extremely powerful, their movements were slightly clumsy. Ye Changsheng gradually gained the upper hand with his flexible body and precise swordsmanship. However, as the battle progressed, Ye Changsheng found that the number of puppets seemed to be increasing, and he had to find a more effective way to fight. He began to observe the action patterns of the puppets, and found that they always attacked after a specific time interval. Using this discovery, Ye Changsheng began to formulate tactics. He no longer fought the puppets head on, but used the speed advantage to conduct guerrilla warfare. Whenever the puppet attacked, he quickly dodged and counterattacked its weaknesses at the same time. After a fierce battle, Ye Changsheng finally defeated the last puppet. He was panting. His clothes were soaked with sweat, but his eyes were shining with victory. Ye Changsheng carefully picked up the jade bottle and gently uncorked it. A stream of pure spiritual energy gushed out, carrying the freshness of the soil and a faint fragrance. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and felt every subtle detail of the spiritual energy flowing through his body. Ye Changsheng's face showed a look of understanding. As a cultivator, he has a keen intuition about spiritual objects. The vitality and depth contained in this spiritual energy are exactly the same as the 1000-year-old stone marrow liquid described in ancient books. He did not need more evidence to determine that the jade bottle contained the treasure that cultivators dreamed of, the 1,000-year-old stone marrow liquid. Ye Changsheng carefully picked up the jade bottle, and he could feel the huge energy contained in the stone marrow liquid. Roughly feeling it, this bottle of 1,000-year-old stone marrow liquid is about the weight of 2 people. He decided to swallow one immediately to enhance his strength, and carefully keep the other. Planning to bring it back to his mother, he opened the jade bottle, and a fragrance came to his nose. He took a deep breath, and poured half a bottle of stone marrow liquid into his mouth. As soon as the stone marrow liquid entered his mouth, it turned into a hot stream, flowing down his throat into his body, and his whole body was surrounded by warmth. Ye Changsheng immediately sat cross-legged, and began to refine the stone marrow liquid. He could feel the spiritual power in his body growing rapidly, and the spiritual power in the meridians was like a rushing river, constantly impacting one bottleneck after another. Time passed by minute, and Ye Changsheng's cultivation level continued to rise. Finally, when he opened his eyes, his cultivation level had firmly stopped at the 6th level of key refining. He stood up, feeling the surging power in his body, and his eyes flashed with unprecedented light. His sight turned to Ye Changsheng. After passing through the light gate, Ye Changsheng found himself in a quiet courtyard. There were towering ancient trees in the courtyard, a bluestone path winding forward, lush spiritual herbs on both sides, and a faint medicinal fragrance in the air. He walked along the path and soon came to the center of the courtyard, where there was an exquisite pavilion with a stone table in the pavilion, and a complex formation was engraved on the stone table. Ye Changsheng stared at the formation, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. He recognized that this was a Liu formation, an ancient and powerful defensive formation. He knew that to pass this trial, he had to solve the mystery of the formation. Ye Changsheng closed his eyes and began to deduce the changes of the formation in his mind. Countless spiritual energy flow routes flashed through his mind, and every possible solution was verified by him one by one. As time passed, beads of sweat gradually appeared on his forehead, but he was unaware of it. Finally, Ye Changsheng opened his eyes, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He found a way to crack the formation. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28 Panacea. He quickly took out several spiritual stones from the storage bag and placed them on the nodes of the formation in a specific order. With the placement of the last spiritual stone, the entire formation suddenly emitted a dazzling light and then slowly dissipated into the air. The scene in front of Ye Changsheng also changed. The original pavilion disappeared, replaced by a stone staircase leading to the underground. Ye Changsheng walked down the stone steps and soon came to a spacious basement. In the center of the basement, there was a huge alchemy furnace, with a blazing spiritual fire burning under the furnace, and the furnace was engraved with various monster patterns. Ye Changsheng walked forward and carefully observed the furnace. He found a small mechanism on the lid of the furnace. He carefully operated the mechanism, and with a click, the lid of the furnace slowly opened. A strong medicinal fragrance came to his nose. Ye Changsheng looked closely and saw 5 shining pills lying in the furnace. These pills exuded powerful spiritual fluctuations. Ye Changsheng recognized them at a glance. This was the legendary Wanling pill, a precious pill that could help mid-stage key refining cultivators break through to the late stage of key refining without obstacles. He was delighted. Such a magical pill was one of the purposes of his trip. Ye Changsheng took out a jade bottle and carefully put the Wanling pill into it. After collecting the pills, Ye Changsheng also collected the first great alchemy furnace. After that, he returned to the courtyard along the original path without staying for long. He stood in the center of the courtyard, took a deep breath of fresh air, and felt the spiritual fluctuations around him. He was very satisfied in his heart. The harvest of this trip to the ruins was far beyond his expectations. Elsewhere, Ye Changsheng was facing a new challenge. He stood at the edge of the trial field. In front of him was a formation composed of light and shadow. Various runes flashed in the formation, emitting waves of pressure. Ye Changsheng knew that this was a trial to test his wisdom and strength. He held the sword tightly, stared at the formation, and began to look for a way to crack it. His eyes wandered over the runes of the formation, trying to find their patterns. After some observation, Ye Changsheng found the weakness of the formation point. He took a deep breath. The spiritual power in his body began to circulate, and a sword light condensed on the sword. He shouted and swung the sword to cut at the weakness of the formation point. The sword light cut through the air and accurately hit the runes of the formation point. There was a loud noise, and the formation vibrated violently, and then slowly dissipated. Ye Changsheng put away his sword and stood, his eyes flashing with victory. He passed through the formation, and came to the other end of the trial field. There, he found a small medicine garden made of spiritual herbs. Various rare spiritual herbs grew in the medicine garden, which emitted a faint light, and the fragrance of medicine was overflowing. Ye Changsheng walked into the medicine garden, and began to observe each spiritual herb carefully. He found that these spiritual herbs were not only old, but also of high quality, and were excellent materials for refining late-stage key refining elixirs. He carefully picked some spiritual herbs, and put them into his storage bag. In the center of the medicine garden, Ye Changsheng found a special spiritual herb. This spiritual herb was crystal clear, and emitted a faint blue light. Its leaves were twinkling with starlight, like the brightest stars in the night sky. Ye Changsheng's heart moved. He recognized that this was a star spiritual herb, an extremely rare spiritual herb that had inestimable value for cultivators who practiced star skills. He carefully dug out the star spiritual herb with its roots and put it in a special jade box. After collecting the star spiritual herb, Ye Changsheng did not stay any longer. He left the trial field and headed into the depths of the ruins along a hidden passage. Ye Changsheng found an ancient stone door at the end of the passage. The stone door was engraved with traces of time. The stone walls on both sides were inlaid with glowing spiritual stones, illuminating this road to the unknown. He took a deep breath, put his hand on the stone door, and slowly pushed it open. Behind the stone door was a spacious hall, with rows of stone shelves in the hall, which were full of dusty ancient books and various relics of immortal cultivators. Ye Changsheng's eyes swept through the hall and finally fixed on a stone platform in the deepest part. Around the stone platform, 6 beast statues were quietly guarding. They were of different shapes, but they all exuded a solemn atmosphere. Ye Changsheng walked forward and found a jade slip and a token on the stone platform. He carefully picked up the jade slip and injected spiritual power into it. The content of the jade slip gradually appeared in his mind. This is an introduction to the ruins, and an important information. The seedling of the foundation building fruit tree is hidden in this ruins. Ye Changsheng was delighted. He put away the jade slip and turned to look at the 6 statues. He realized that to find the seedling of the foundation building fruit tree, he first needed to solve the mystery of the statues. He began to carefully observe each statue, and found that there were runes engraved on their bases, and these runes were somehow related to the runes on the stone gate. Ye Changsheng recalled his experience when he entered the ruins. He tried to inject his spiritual power into the base of the statue in a specific order. As the last rune was activated, the 6 statues suddenly emitted a dazzling light. They slowly moved away, revealing a stone staircase leading down. Ye Changsheng walked down the stone steps and came to a spiritual medicine garden full of vitality. The spiritual energy in the garden was rich, and various spiritual medicines competed for beauty. In the center of the garden, a small tree attracted all his attention. Although this small tree is not tall, it has lush branches and leaves, and exudes a rich second-level spiritual light. It is the seedling of the foundation building fruit tree. Ye Changsheng walked carefully to the seedling of the foundation building fruit tree. He could feel the powerful vitality contained in this seedling. He knew what this seedling meant to the Ye family. It would be the key to the rise of the family. Ye Changsheng quickly approached the seedling of the foundation building fruit tree. He took out a special jade shovel from the storage bag and dug out the seedling together with the soil at the root. With a thought, the seedling of the foundation building fruit tree entered the space of the true dragon immortal tree. While Ye Changsheng successfully picked the seedling, Ye Jiu, who also made progress in another trial. With his rich experience and profound cultivation, he successfully solved a series of complex mechanisms and found a secret passage to the spiritual medicine garden. When Ye Jiu, who came to the spiritual medicine garden, Ye Changsheng had completed the transplantation of the foundation building fruit tree and was sitting on the ground to regulate his breath. "Grandpa, I have found the foundation building fruit tree and put it in my space." Ye Jiuhu walked forward and patted Ye Changsheng's shoulder excitedly. "Well done, Changsheng. Now, our family will no longer lack the means to build a foundation. As long as there are enough foundations, there will always be one who can survive to the Purple Mansion. By then, our Ye family will be different again." Chapter 29 Hide. Before Ye Changsheng could say anything, the entire ruin suddenly began to tremble, as if some powerful existence was about to awaken. "Changsheng, we have to get out of here quickly." Jiuhu's face was solemn, and he could feel that the power in the ruins was gathering rapidly. Ye Changsheng nodded, and the two began to look for a way out of the elixir garden point. But at this moment, the land around the medicine garden suddenly cracked open, and earth attribute monsters crawled out of the ground, their eyes flashing with hostility towards the intruders. These monsters have different shapes. Some are as huge as small hills, and some are as agile as cheetahs, but they all have one thing in common: powerful earth attribute spiritual power. They either waved giant fists made of rocks, or sprayed out sharp earth thorns, launching fierce attacks on Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu. Faced with the siege of monsters, Ye Changsheng took quick action points due to time constraints. Ye Changsheng had no time to set up the formation. He took out the carefully prepared talismans from his storage bag. These talismans had been carefully selected by him at Fenglui Trading Company, including Golden Light Talisman, Flame Talisman, Quagmire Talisman, and Binding Talisman. Each one contains powerful power. He first activated the Golden Light Talisman, and golden light shields formed around him, providing him with a solid defense point. Then, he threw the Flaming Talisman at the group of monsters. The flaming dragon leaped out from the talisman, sweeping towards the monsters with blazing flames. Ye Jiuhu displayed his spells on the side. Under his control, wind blades, lightning strikes and earth thorns formed a series of offensives, forming a perfect coordination with Ye Changsheng's talisman attack point. Under the double attack, the monster beast group began to appear in chaos, but Ye Changsheng knew that talismans and spells alone were not enough to repel these monsters, and he needed more support. He summoned the puppets he had purchased before from his storage bag. These puppets were made of fine iron, and had spiritual stones embedded in their bodies, which could bring out the fighting power of monks in the early stage of key refining. Under the control of Ye Changsheng, the puppets quickly joined the battle. They brandished their weapons, and engaged in fierce close combat with the monsters. Among the puppets carefully selected by Ye Changsheng, there are the silver armored guards who are good at melee combat, and the purple thunder puppets who are good at long range attacks. They each perform their own duties and effectively contain the monster's offensive point. The battle became more and more intense. Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu stood back to back. Their eyes were firm, and they had no intention of backing down. Ye Changsheng waved his long sword, and the tip of the sword cut through the air, bringing up a stream of sword energy, and slashing at the monster charging at the front. Ye Jiuhu continued to activate the talismans and cast his spells at the same time, launching a fierce battle with the monsters during a fierce attack by a monster. Ye Changsheng saw an opportunity. He took out the Cheyenne Lizzie from the storage bag. This treasure condensed by the power of thunder and lightning is their last trump card. Ye Changsheng quickly activated Cheyenne Lizzie and threw it at the place where the monsters were densest. Cheyenne Lizzie exploded among the monster beasts and turned into a sheet of thunder. Lightning spread like a spider web, shrouding the monster in it. The mighty thunder instantly electrified the demonic beast to black, causing it to scream in agony. Seeing this, Ye Jiuhu quickly took out his Cheyenne Lizzie, activated and threw it without hesitation. The second thunderbolt exploded around them, and with the thunderous thunder, the monster beast was blown to ashes, leaving no bones left. While the monster beasts were frightened by Cheyenne Lizzie's power, Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu quickly rushed towards the exit of the elixir garden. At the exit, Ye Changsheng pressed the switch of the Zuanwu umbrella, and the umbrella opened instantly, forming a solid defensive barrier. The defensive power of the Black Tortoise umbrella is extremely powerful, and it successfully withstood the last wave of attacks from the monsters under the protection of the treasure umbrella. The two people safely passed through the exit and escaped from the elixir garden. After escaping from the elixir garden, Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu did not relax their vigilance. They knew that the battle fluctuations in the ruins might attract the attention of more monks, and they had to leave as soon as possible. The two quickly shuttled through the ruins, and Ye Changsheng looked back from time time to make sure that no monsters were catching up. In a hidden corner, they found a relatively safe place. After setting up the golden light array, they began to rest and take stock of the harvest of the expedition. Ye who took out other treasures they collected in the ruins, including some rare elixirs and panacea. Although this expedition is dangerous, the rewards are also huge. Ye whose voice was filled with a hint of relief. Grandpa, please give me the most precious items and I will put them in my secret space. I will definitely not find them in Fenglui Pavilion when I go out. Ye Changsheng said, okay, I'll leave these first grade high grade elixirs, panacea, and alchemy furnace to you. I'll be happy if I don't get cut off by them. Ye who said excitedly. Ye Changsheng calculated that it was already the 6th day after entering the secret realm, and he would be excluded from the secret realm in less than a day. The two people did not continue to take risks at the last moment, but continued to put the golden bell array on the outside of the golden light array. After the arrangements were made, the two people stayed inside. More than 10 hours later, calculating that the time was almost 7 days, Ye Changsheng put away the two defensive formations in the blink of an eye. The last time to stay in the Yunkai secret realm came, and a powerful repulsive force appeared on the two of them. After another round of twists and turns, the two people appeared above Linghu Lake. The two of them rode the flying swords and landed next to the Spirit Lake, close to the Fenglui Pavilion. Teams from all major forces have gathered around Linghu Lake, waiting for the return of all explorers. Representatives of all major forces gathered all the returning expedition teams and asked them to hand over all the gains in the secret realm so that they could select the most valuable parts and take them for themselves. The atmosphere on the scene was tense and depressing. Many teams looked embarrassed, especially those teams that had already lost some members. They seemed particularly anxious in the team of Xixia sect. The leader of the team had a sad face. Their team encountered a powerful monster in the secret realm, which resulted in the unfortunate death of two disciples. Among the spiritual medicines and treasures they handed over, there was a spiritual medicine emitting 7-color light, which caused a burst of exclamation. The team of Yunxiao Pavilion had a complete number of people, but when their leader handed over the gains, he held a strange spiritual ore in his hand. There seemed to be lightning flashing inside the ore, which was obviously not an ordinary thing, causing whispers from the surrounding teams. In the Red Flame sect team, a disciple excitedly showed a fire-attributed spiritual medicine they found in the secret realm. This spiritual medicine can greatly increase the speed of practicing fire-attributed skills, and immediately became the focus of everyone's attention. The Xingao Valley team seemed particularly low-key, but the spiritual fruit they handed in made everyone gasp. This spiritual fruit is said to increase the success rate of foundation building and is an extremely precious treasure. Chapter 30 Qinghu Peak. The representative of Fenglui Pavilion walked up to Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu with a trace of scrutiny in his eyes. Two fellow Taoists, the trip to the secret realm has ended. According to the rules, we need to check your harvest and select the most valuable ones. Half the value. Ye Changsheng took a step forward, his voice calm and firm. We understand the rules. This is our harvest. Please check it. He handed over the storage bag, which contained the elixir they harvested in the secret realm. The representative of Fenglui Pavilion checked the elixir in the storage bag. There was even a first level spirit dog with a strong sense of smell next to him. His eyes stayed on the first level mid-grade elixir for a while, and then nodded. Satisfied. He said to Ye Changsheng, you have done a good job. These elixirs are of equal value. According to the rules, we will take half of them. Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu looked at each other and smiled. They had already prepared, and these elixirs were only part of their harvest. They bowed respectfully and stepped aside. After the handling was completed, the representative of Fenglui Pavilion nodded with satisfaction and let the two of them leave. Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiuhu immediately drove their flying boat and returned to Fenglui Fang City as quickly as an arrow from a string point. After returning to the inn in Fangxi, they immediately changed their appearance. Ye Changsheng transformed into a dignified old man, and Ye Jiuhu transformed into an energetic young man. He drove the flying boat back to Ye's house. After 3 days of rest, Ye Changsheng found his grandfather Ye Jiuhu. Grandpa, this is the alchemy furnace, the panacea, and these 3 first-class spiritual herbs. This is what Ye Changsheng transferred to the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree before leaving the clouds to open the secret realm. I'm holding this panacea, and I'll leave this high-grade alchemy furnace for you to use for refining the elixir. I don't want the 3 spiritual grasses anymore. Since you have a suitable place, just keep them. Ye Jiuhu said, that's fine, Grandpa. Whenever you need it, just come to me and ask for it. Ye Changsheng said, Grandpa, I'm sure that I will be able to obtain the foundation building fruit in more than half a year. During this period, I will search for some other spiritual objects that can assist in foundation building. You must be prepared. Ye Changsheng said, don't worry, I have already broken through 2 realms in less than half a year. If I rush to build a foundation, I'm afraid that an unstable foundation will have a bad impact. I have to adjust my breath well and gain a solid foundation for at least 1 year. Ye Jiuhu waved his hand and said, Grandpa is still thoughtful, but we have to think about Uncle's marriage. Ye Changsheng continued to ask, yes, the Liu family received so many betrothal gifts from our family and sold them 10 shenks in pairs. We have paid such a high price. It would be better for this Liu family girl to be safe as soon as possible. Ye Jiuhu stroked his beard and said, I will send a family deacon to check with the Liu family to see if the marriage can be completed within 3 months. The Yu family has a strict hierarchy. The first level high-grade spiritual veins are closest to them, and there are not only supreme elders, clan leaders, and 9 elders living there. The outer layer is the residence of the 12 deacons and their family members and servants. The outermost floor is the residence of ordinary Yi family members. The deacon Yijiu, who refers to as a Zyke deacon, who is responsible for marriage affairs and family diplomacy. The 12 deacons are all at the peak of the middle stage of key refining, which is the 6th level of key refining. According to Ye Changsheng, there are now a total of 256 immortal cultivators in the Yi family. There are 11 people in the late stage of key refining, including 9 elders, clan leaders, and even supreme elders. There are 38 people in the middle stage of key refining, including the 12 major deacons. The rest are at the early stage of key refining, or even more at the first level of key refining, and are mainly responsible for some general affairs in the family. After all, qualifications are rare in the world of immortality, and the most common ones are Wulingjin monks. Most of these monks have been practicing at the first level of key refining all their lives. As for the ordinary people, there are more people, about 200,000 people, all of whom live in the plains not far from the main peak of the Yi family, and mainly make a living by farming. Grandpa, you are now master of the 9th level of key refining. Shouldn't you tell the family? After all, with your cultivation level, you can also be the supreme elder of the family. Besides, our family property is getting bigger and bigger. There are many spiritual trees and spiritual plants in my space. As the cultivation level of our family is getting higher and higher, we also need to have a clear industrial layout, so we also lack a fixed place to arrange the elixir garden and the spiritual tree garden. In the future, the prosperity of our descendants and the long-term cultivation of immortals will depend on these apparent resources. Ye Changsheng spoke eloquently. You are right, Changsheng. Changsheng has a long-term vision and a long-term plan. Now is indeed the right time. In the past few days, I will explain my true cultivation level to the clan and strive to win an independent spiritual peak as a separate territory for our branch. Ye Jiuhu pondered. However, we need to carefully consider which of the more than 60 peaks in Kingshu Ridge we choose. Ye Jiuhu continued. The main peak where the Yi family is located is called Kingshu Peak, and there is a high-grade spiritual vein on it. This is where the Yi family practices, and a large number of buildings and manors have been built here. Kingshu Ridge is the territory of the Yi family, and the other peaks are all planted with spiritual rice and first-order low-grade spiritual grass gathered in the spiritual veins. There are nearly 1,000 acres of land in total to support the Yi family of more than 200 people. Grandpa, I have a suggestion. What do you think of Kingshu Peak? Ye Changsheng said, oh, Kingshu Peak is quite big, with more than 100 acres of spiritual fields on it, but it's just a little far away from the main peak of Kingshu Peak. Ye Jiuhu said calmly, yes, Grandpa, not only are there many spiritual fields on Kingshu Peak, but we can directly establish a spiritual medicine garden after we settle in. There is also a lake of several hundred acres where we can cultivate some water-based spiritual medicines and even spiritual fish. This will be more beneficial to our future industrial development planning. Moreover, Qinghu Peak is close to the Zilong Mountains. If the Ye family grows in the future, we can divide it into branches and expand towards the Zilong Mountains. The most important thing is that we are destined to have no shortage of spiritual stones now. Although the spiritual veins there are only the first level mid-grade, but if we ask people to set up a spiritual ascending array and are willing to spend the spiritual stones, within a few years, it will transform into a first level high quality spiritual veins. After you have polished and built the foundation for a few years, we can even upgrade it to a second level spiritual vein. Ye Changsheng's family planning is very organized. Ha ha ha. Yes, my grandson is the one who sees far, and since you have such a great destiny, my Ye family should rise. Ye Jiuhu was very satisfied with Ye Changsheng's words. Okay, then I'll go to the clan. I want to tell these old guys that I, Tiger Ye, am back. After that, he took control of the flying sword, left the tiger garden, and flew to the top of Qinghu Peak Point. After a moment, a sharp golden aura of the 9th level of key refining great perfection rose up from the top of Qinghu Peak, and another azure wood aura of the great perfection of key refining also rose into it. For that point Ye Changsheng knew that his grandfather Ye Jiu, who majored in sharp metal properties, as for the supreme elder Ye Dongren, he majored in the Aoki attribute. Point the two breaths were facing each other, and they were in a stalemate for a while. Half an hour later, Aoki's aura was weak and defeated step by step, and finally it was put away. At this time, the sharp gold aura was also put away. Chapter 31, Divide the treasure again. After a while, Ye Jiuhu flew back in high spirits. Changsheng, let me show you my new gadget. After that, a new metal plate was thrown over, with the words Order of the Supreme Elder of the Kingshui family written on it. Grandpa, have you become the new Supreme Elder? Ye Changsheng asked in surprise. Yes, I have become the second Supreme Elder of the Ye family, Ye Jiuhu said proudly. But, just like this, became the Supreme Elder without any fanfare, didn't the clan leader and the others ask for any clan meeting procedures? Ye Changsheng was a little strange. He had this idea, but I rejected it. Our family's success depends entirely on you. It's too high profile and easy to be exposed. Ye Jiuhu said calmly, and I have reached an agreement with the first Supreme Elder and the clan leader. Qinghu Peak will be the location of my cave from now on, and everything on it belongs to our family. Inform everyone in your family and you will all move there in the next few days. Ye Jiuhu ordered. Yes, Grandpa. Ye Changsheng bowed and replied, his heart full of joy. Ye Changsheng then notified everyone in his family, and first went to the General Affairs Hall to arrange the family task of building Qinghu, which cost a total of 3,000 contribution points. At the same time, the news that Ye Jiuhu broke through the 9th level of key refining and became the second Supreme Elder in the family spread like an explosion within the clan. Because Ye Jiuhu wanted to keep a low profile, the clan leader only held a small meeting to inform the heads of each branch and clan about the latest changes within the family. This great elder has already become a blockbuster without even making a sound. Yes, there was a person who was seriously injured at the 7th level of key refining before, but later he got a magical elixir somewhere and he recovered. In just a few months, I have been directly promoted from the 7th level of key refining to the 9th level of key refining. This is a blessing, indeed, and I heard that the new Supreme Elder is leaving Qinghu Peak again. It seems that he is sure to make Qinghu Peak as good as the main peak. This is indeed a great opportunity. There are various rumors, speculations, and discussions circulating within the Kingshui family. Of course, this also reached Ye Changsheng's ears, and he laughed it off. Grandpa Ye Jiuhu was only in the key refining period by chance, and it was only in a key refining family like the Ye family that there was such an uproar. If it were placed in the foundation establishment family, no one would be so fussy. Half a month later, the main hall Pavilions and terraces of Qinghu Peak were all decorated with utensils and garden walls. Ye Changsheng's family also officially moved in with their servants Ye Jiu, who held another meeting. When Changsheng and I came back from the Yunke secret realm, the three of you were in retreat. It just happened to be the occasion of today's housewarming. I will distribute some of the harvest from the secret realm. After speaking, Ye Jiu, who took out the bottle of panacea elixir, one for each person. Ye Jiu, who said, "Is this the legendary panacea that is the best elixir for breaking through the late stages of key refining and the middle stage of key refining?" Ye Xianyu asked excitedly. "Yes, I can only get it from the immortal cultivation ruins in the Yunke secret realm. You can't even buy it in the outside world." Ye Jiu, who stroked his beard and said with a smile, "Dad, I see you still have one panacea left. You have already reached the 9th level of key refining and can no longer use it. Kana only has the 4th level of key refining. Look." Ye Xianyu scratched his head and said a little embarrassed, "Brother, Liu Kana hasn't been married yet. You love her so much." Ye Xianyu joked, "We'll be here in a while. Don't call me Liu Kana or Liu Kana. You have to call me sister-in-law." Ye Xianyu said to Ye Xianyu with a serious face. Ye Xianyu laughed even more when he saw this. Liu Kana is no longer at the 4th level of key refining. The Liu family just sent a message that Liu Kana has taken a Shengsen pair. She is already at the 5th level of key refining, just after she left seclusion. In addition, the wedding will be held in 3 months. Ye Jiu, who interrupted the fight between their brothers and sisters. From this point of view, the Liu family is quite sensible, and it is not easy for the head of the foundation building family, Cui Linglong said at this time. "What Mother said is true, but I want to ask Grandpa whether we should invite relatives and friends from outside to my uncle's wedding in 3 months. If we don't invite you, and it's only held within the clan, how big of a scene should it be?" Ye Changsheng said, "My promotion to Supreme Elder has been widely circulated. Now our family should not be too high profile, and we should not invite relatives and friends from outside the clan. We also need to keep things small within the clan. Just invite the 8 elders and 12 deacons to come over. This is indeed a bit unfair to Liu Kana, but I can make up for it." Ye Jiu, who pointed to the panacea in his hand. Ye Jiu, who got exactly 5 pairs in Yunke secret realm, including the pairs reserved for Liu Kana, which was all allocated. "Uncle, I can make up for it a little here." Ye Changsheng raised his hands to Ye Xianyu and said, "Haha, if you don't tell me about Changsheng, I won't leave you, a little rich man, behind." Ye Xianyu said happily, "By the way, I also gained something in the secret realm, and I want to share it with you." Ye Changsheng said, "Uncle, this is the first grade high-grade flame grass. For monks who practice fire attribute techniques, it can greatly improve their practice efficiency." Ye Changsheng handed a spiritual herb with leaves swaying like flames to Ye Xianyu. Ye Xianyu took the flaming grass and showed joy in his eyes. "Good nephew, this spiritual herb is really useful to me. Thank you." Then, Ye Changsheng handed a emerald green spiritual herb to Ye Xianyu. "Aunt, this is also a first grade spiritual herb. It is called wood spirit flower. It can not only speed up the cultivation speed of wood spirit root cultivators, but also has a strong healing effect." Ye Xianyu took the wood spirit flower and showed a gentle smile on her face. "Changsheng, you are always so careful, Aunt. Thank you." Finally, Ye Changsheng handed a spiritual herb with water light and cool breath to Cui Linglong. "Mother, this is a first grade Zuanbing grass. It is very beneficial to the cultivation of water spirit root cultivators." Cui Linglong took the Zuanbing grass. Her eyes were full of emotion. "Good child." As soon as Ye Changsheng finished distributing the spiritual herbs, Ye Jiu, who cleared his throat and had something to say, "Linglong, Xianyu, you were all at the 5th level of key refining before, but after eating a Shengsen pear, you were promoted to the 6th level of key refining." Changsheng had another opportunity in the Yunke secret realm, and he is now at the 6th level of key refining. Now, everyone has the Wanling pill, and the late stage of key refining is just around the corner. I hope you can lay a solid foundation strive to take the Wanling pill again within a year, and finally break through the late stage of key refining. I have a piece of news to tell you now. The perfection of key refining in the late stage of key refining is not what our family pursues. What my children, Ye Changsheng, pursue is longevity. Chapter 32 Filial Piety. Ye Changsheng's face was full of pride. After he finished speaking, everyone seemed to understand the information inside and was also full of excitement, but no one asked any questions after the meeting. Ye Changsheng followed his mother Cui Linglang to Long Garden, which was named by Cui Linglang herself. Because the area around Qinghu Peak is relatively large, several gardens were built around the lake. Cui Linglang was assigned one. Mother, I have another gift for you. Ye Changsheng took out a jade box with 13 green fruits in it. Mother, after you take these 13 green fruits, take the Wanling pill, so that you can consolidate your foundation and there will be no future troubles. After speaking, he took out a small jade bottle. Mother, this contains the 1000-year jade marrow liquid, which is enough for you to continue to break through to the 8th level of key refining within a year without any future troubles. Ye Changsheng said, looking at Ye Changsheng's expectant eyes. Well, Changsheng, then I will accept it. Thank you very much, Mother. Cui Linglang said. Mother, this is what I should do. By the way, Mother, how long have you not been back to your mother's home? Ye Changsheng asked. About 5 or 6 years. The Ye family has not been peaceful these years. We have been busy and have no time to go back to visit your grandpa and grandma. Cui Linglang said regretfully. It doesn't matter. You can bring them a surprise this time. Ye Changsheng said with a smile. He took out another jade box and opened it to find 12 shanks and pears. Mother, 2 of these shanks and pears are for my grandpa and grandma, and the remaining 10 are for trading with the Cui family. I have already reported this to grandpa. If you have time during this period, you can go home to visit. Ye Changsheng said. Changsheng, it's rare that you can think of so much and think of honoring your grandpa and grandma. I thank you on their behalf. Cui Linglang was very moved. It's rare that Ye Changsheng has such a great opportunity at such a young age and can think of his grandpa and grandma and take care of the Cui family. The Cui family is a key refining family like the Ye family that has been in existence for more than 100 years. The highest level of cultivation in the family is the perfect key refining realm. Ye Changsheng's grandfather is also an elder of the Cui family with the 7th level of key refining cultivation. Grandmother is the deacon of the Cui family with the 6th level of key refining cultivation. With these 2 immortal pairs, they can also be promoted to the level of the elder of the Cui family. Grandmother will also be promoted to the level of the elder of the Cui family. Mother, this is what I should do as a younger generation. But, Mother, you have to tell them that this matter should be kept low key and that the spiritual fruit cannot be revealed to the outside world, that it comes from our Ye family. Ye Changsheng said lightly. Okay, Mother knows the seriousness of this situation and will tell them. Changsheng, I won't talk to you for now. I'll pack up and prepare to leave for my mother's home today. I haven't seen your grandpa and grandma for several years. Now that you say that, I really miss them. After Cui Linglang finished speaking, she went back to her room to pack up. After a while, she left the Ye family formation and drove the first-class flying boat that Ye Changsheng had configured for her and flew away. After watching his mother leave, Ye Changsheng returned to his Changsheng garden. Changsheng Garden is the name Ye Changsheng gave to his garden, which has the dual meanings of his real name, and Changsheng attains the tower. Back in his retreat room, Ye Changsheng had a thought and appeared in the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree. Because the first class immortal dew of the 6th month has been generated. Since Ye Changsheng activated the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree, he has obtained a total of 7 drops of first class Immortal Dew. The space is generated with 1 drop, and the other 6 drops are generated every month. Later Ye Changsheng used 6 drops, which gave birth to 2 first-level compassionate fruit trees, 2 first-level immortal pear trees, 1 longevity peach tree, and 1 sunflower. A total of 1 drop of 2nd level Immortal Dew was obtained, which gave birth to a 2nd level compassionate fruit tree. Total of 1 drop of 3rd level immortal dew was obtained, which gave birth to a 3rd level 100 changes would point so. Now there is a 3rd level spiritual tree in the True Dragon Immortal Tree space point. Originally there was 1 2nd level tree, plus the foundation building fruit tree harvested from the Yunke secret realm, and finally there were 2 2nd level spiritual trees. Originally there were 5 1st level spiritual trees, plus the green fruit tree harvested from the Yunke secret realm. And finally there were 6 1st level spiritual trees. Now there are 14 1st level immortal pears and 62 1st level compassionate fruits in Ye Changsheng's storage bag. More than 10,000 spirit stones. Ye Changsheng took this drop of 1st level immortal dew, thought about it, and decided to give birth to a longevity peach. The reason is that the longevity peach is the most precious and can maximize the value of the 1st level fairy dew. Taking out a peach core that had been prepared long ago, Ye Changsheng dripped the 1st level fairy dew in the same way. In a blink of an eye, another lush longevity peach tree stood in front of Ye Changsheng. The 18 red peaches exuded an attractive fragrance. Ye Changsheng resisted the urge to swallow, took out the 18 jade boxes that had been prepared long ago, put them in one by one, and finally put them into the storage bag. With a change of figure, Ye Changsheng returned to reality. Due to the busyness of this period, Ye Changsheng has delayed his usual meditation practice. Ye Changsheng can no longer take care of the alchemy business, swallowed a pill of Yiki pill, and began to move the Zaxian Iron Hua medicine power. Bibo Lake is located 5,000 miles west of the Kingsu Peak of the Yi family. The Cui family, a cultivation family, is located on the spiritual island with a 1st level upper grade spiritual vein in the center of Bibo Lake. It took Cui Linglang a whole day and a night to steer the flying boat. Cui Linglang thought to herself that if she had used Fijian before and had to rest halfway and be delayed several times, it would have taken at least 3 days. When they arrived on the island, Cui Linglang put away the flying boat and entered Cui's house after being notified. When I arrived at home, I met my father Cui Teheo and my mother Yang Babing. My son has become thin again. Is the Yi family lacking resources again, mother? Yang Babing stepped forward and took Cui Linglang's hand and said lovingly, Mom, my daughter is fine these days. You see me thin, but it's just because we haven't seen her for 4 or 5 years. Cui Linglang explained. Linglang, if you have any difficulties, just tell your family. You are still so strong. Cui Teheo shook his head and said, yes, when you leave this time, my mother will get you some cultivation supplies. You can take care of your immortality by yourself, so don't be harsh with me. Yang Babing said commandingly. That's right. In recent years, you have been afraid that people will say that you have been returning to your parents' home to take advantage of it, and you have never come back. I know your difficulty, but you don't have to listen to what other people in the clan say. We only have your daughter, and even if we give you everything, they don't dare to say anything. Cui Teheo said in a strong tone. Dad, mother, my daughter is doing really well recently. If you don't believe me, look at what gifts I brought you. Cui Linglang happily took out a jade box, which contained 2 shanks and pears. Xianli, daughter, where did you get such a precious spiritual fruit? Yang Babing was shocked. That's right, you're not going to venture deep into the Zilong mountain, are you? Cui Teheo said, no, this is your nephew's chance to gain immortality. I have already eaten one. He seems to have gained a lot this time, so he asked me to bring him here, because you 2 elders were here. By the way, after eating the shanks and pear, I'm now at the 6th level of key refining. Cui Linglang said, good luck. Chapter 33 Spiritual Cherry. Cui Teheo said with sigh, however, you are still far away from immortality. For such a precious spiritual fruit, it is better to go to the market to exchange for rare resources. Your mother and I are both old and there is no need to waste such precious spiritual fruit. Cui Teheo pushed Sheng Xianli back. PFFT. Cui Linglang smiled. Dad, what do you think this is? Cui Linglang took out the jade box containing 10 shanks and pears. 10 shanks and pears again. This time Cui Teheo and Yang Babing were shocked. Yes, Changsheng gave this to me. He asked me to give it to the clan leader, which is regarded as a deal with our family, so there is really no shortage of shanks and pear at Ye Changsheng's side. Please accept it quickly. CUI. Linglong urged. This is a great opportunity. CUI. Taeheo said a little solemnly. It's rare that Changsheng can think of so many things, so I thanked him on behalf of the family. Every family lacks something like shanks and pear. Indeed, although shanks and pear is not rare and everyone has heard of it, it is difficult to purchase. CUI Taeheo was a little excited, but Changsheng is afraid of problems and requires us not to reveal that these spiritual fruits come from him. CUI. Linglong said, I know, of course I know. After all, the Foundation establishment family is also jealous of these opportunities. CUI. Taeheo said, Chang Sheng has really made his mark this time. As a grandmother, I will take advantage of him. Linglong, you gave birth to a good son. Yang Babing said happily. Mother, Changsheng is still young. It won't be too late for you to say this after he has established his foundation, although she said so. CUI Linglong couldn't hold back the smile on her lips. Yang Babing pulled CUI Linglong and talked about herself. CUI Taeheo took Sheng Xianli to find the CUI clan leader. After a while, CUI Taeheo came back with a happy face. You, mother and daughter, please clean up and go to the clan leader's place for dinner tonight. CUI. Taeheo said, HMPH, this CUI taping is really snobbish. Yang Babing was a little resentful. After all, CUI Linglong had been using her family's resources to subsidize her husband's family. The head of the CUI family also complained a lot. He is a clan leader after all. He has to consider the whole clan, so don't take it to heart. CUI. Taeheo persuaded. It's evening. The dinner was held in the garden of the CUI clan leader's residence. The entire courtyard was carefully decorated, with lights brightly lit and the fragrance of flowers overflowing. The long banquet was filled with all kinds of delicacies, and there was a dazzling array of delicacies. On the table were golden and crispy spirit beast meat, fragrant spirit rice, and soup made from spirit grass, which was full of fragrance. Every dish is carefully prepared. Delicious. Delicious and mouth-watering. Patriarch CUI wore a gorgeous robe, smiled and raised his glass to greet everyone. His eyes were gentle and kind, making him look particularly kind. He walked up to CUI Linglong, bowed slightly, and said with some respect in his tone, Linglong, you have helped our family a lot. When you come back this time, several elders in our family, who are on the 8th level of key refining, are waiting for a promotion. Where is Zionla's breakthrough? I won't say any more words of thanks. I'll do it first as a token of respect. After CUI taping finished speaking, he did it first. After saying that, CUI taping took out an exquisite brocade box from his sleeve and handed it to CUI Linglong with both hands. As soon as the brocade box was opened, there was a pile of spiritual stones inside, emitting a faint light. CUI taping continued, Linglong, this is the 11,000 spiritual stones for the shanks and pear trade. I hope you won't forget the CUI family if there are any good things in the future. CUI. Linglong took the spirit stone, feeling excited, and said quickly, okay, definitely, definitely. During the banquet, the CUI clan members raised their glasses and toasted to CUI Linglong, their words full of flattery. Someone said, Sister Linglong, your return this time has really opened our eyes. You have reached the 6th level of key refining so quickly. When Sister Linglong was at home, I knew that she must be a good one among people, and she has great potential in building foundation. Another person echoed, yes, Sister Linglong, you are so lucky to marry into such a big family, and you will become famous in the future. Don't forget your sister. CUI. Linglong responded with a smile, her heart filled with joy. She knew that her son had earned the face she had today. The dinner was held amidst laughter, and the atmosphere was warm and harmonious. It was a month later when Ye Changsheng woke up again. This time, Ye Changsheng felt that he had completely grasped the foundation of the 6th level of key refining. Ye Changsheng came out of seclusion, took off the jade token of seclusion, and saw that the living room had been replaced with a new plate of his favorite first-class low-grade spiritual fruit. Spiritual cherries. His previous living room contained only mortal fruits. Ye Changsheng knew that his mother Cui Linglang must have been here, because the cherries were a specialty of his grandfather Cui's family. When I was a child, I often ate the cherries that my grandmother asked my mother to bring. Ye Changsheng took a spiritual cherry and put it into his mouth, and instantly felt a sweet juice bursting on the tip of his tongue, with a touch of spiritual energy and the unique aroma of cherries. Although this spiritual energy is weak, it is pure and direct, and it is somewhat helpful to his cultivation. The pulp of the spiritual cherry is so delicate that it seems to melt on the tip of the tongue. Every time he chews it, more spiritual power is released and flows along his meridians, making him feel refreshed. Ye Changsheng closed his eyes and savored the familiar and long-lost smell, feeling a warm current surge in his heart. Speaking of which, Ling cherry pits are easy to obtain. It's not like the Ye family has never planted them before, but in the end they failed because of their illness. Perhaps this is the law of the world of immortality. Spirit grass, especially spirit fruit trees, are difficult to grow on a large scale. Spirit fruit trees growing in the wild have their own conditions suitable for growth. It is difficult to grow them on a large scale at home. So every family in the world of immortality has its own special and unique spiritual plants. For example, the Cui family's cherry tree is 100 years old, with lush roots and branches, and can bring a lot of income to the Cui family every year. After all, swallowing spiritual fruits to practice is the right way in the spiritual world. Swallowing pills is cheap, but it contains erysipelas, which affects your practice and lifespan. Of course, the Ye family also has its own unique spiritual plant, the green leaf bamboo, which is also a first-order low-grade spiritual plant. However, its main function is to make talisman paper, and the talisman paper created is used as first-order low-grade talisman paper. Of course, there are many cherry trees of poor value, but fortunately bamboos grow well and have lush branches, so overall the value is not bad. Speaking of which, the Ye family's main business is actually talisman paper, which is also closely related to Lingxi. Maybe the Ye family's new financial breakthrough in the future is still here, Ye Changsheng thought secretly. After eating some cherries, Ye Changsheng packed up his clothes and went to Langyuan to meet his mother. When we arrived at the main hall of Langyuan, our mother Cui Linglang happened to be there too. Changsheng, you came just in time. I was just going to find you. Cui Linglang stopped Ye Changsheng, who was about to salute, and said kindly, your grandpa came back with me a few days ago. He came to express his gratitude to your grandpa. He didn't see you, but he left a storage bag and asked me to give it to you. Cui Linglang said while taking out a storage bag. Okay, mother, please thank grandpa for me. Ye Changsheng smiled and took the storage bag and said, we are all a family. There is no need to thank you. This storage bag contains an opportunity he had many years ago, but he couldn't solve it. He said that you are now promising, so I gave it to you. Cui Linglang said, mother, if I have the right opportunity in the future, I will definitely think of my grandparents. Ye Changsheng said. Chapter 34 Heavenly Palace Order. Okay, if you have this intention, mother will be very happy. You don't know how popular my mother will be when she returns to her parents' home this time. The patriarch personally invited me to come over for a spiritual feast. The people accompanying me are all the elders of the Cui family. Mom has never received such courtesy from the Cui family in her life. All of this is because of you, Changsheng. The Cui family returned 11,000 spirit stones from Tenshengxianli. The clan leader asked me to hand them over to your grandfather. He also gave me many gifts. Anyway, mother has never been so happy in her life. Cui Linglang's eyes became a little moist as she spoke. Seeing this scene, Ye Changsheng quickly said, Mom, this is what a son should do, not only to honor his grandparents, but more importantly, to make his mother happy. These are nothing now. Didn't you hear what grandpa said before? Our family is full of people who have a good chance of building a foundation. To be more optimistic, If we don't stop building a foundation, you will be happy when the time comes. Mom, your current task is to stay at home and concentrate on your cultivation. Just watch the changes in our family. Ye Changsheng said sincerely. Aha, CUI. Linglong was very moved. By the way, mother, these are 5,000 spiritual stones, 10 first level loving kindness fruits, 2 immortal pears, and a life extending flat peach. This is the bottom of the box that my son has prepared for you. If you have something you like at the exchange meeting between sisters, you can exchange it back as much as you want. Don't worry about it, son. I have a lot more here. I only give you a small part. Ye Changsheng took out another pile of things, which Ye Changsheng had wanted to give to his mother for a long time. After all, she was his mother, so how could she not buy something from the bottom of the box? Cui Linglong, who was about to shirk it, heard that it was only a small part, so she took it over. My son has grown up, and now you are the one raising the mother, so the mother will put it away. Cui Linglong said with a smile. Mom, then I'm going to study the opportunities my grandpa left for me. I'm going to resign first. After getting Cui Linglong's permission, Ye Changsheng withdrew. Returning to Changsheng Garden, Ye Changsheng opened the storage bag given by his grandfather. It was found that there were 2,000 spirit stones inside and something that looked like a token. This token looks like gold but not gold, looks like wood but not wood, and has a smooth surface, which is very strange. Ye Changsheng tried various methods, including flooding with water, roasting with fire, dripping blood, shining under the sun and moon, and being buried in a pile of spiritual stones, but nothing happened. Ye Changsheng had no choice but to throw it in the storage bag. On this day, Ye Jiu who summoned Ye Changsheng to discuss matters. Changsheng, this is the spiritual stone given by the Cui family to Bai Shenks and Pear. There are 11,000 spiritual stones. You have a heavy burden and encounter many big occasions, so I will replace them with high-grade spiritual stones for you. Ye Jiu said as he handed over a storage bag, which contained 100 sparkling high-grade spiritual stones. In the world of immortality, 110 low-grade spiritual stones can be exchanged for 1 high-grade spiritual stone. Grandpa is still thoughtful, indeed, because at some relatively high-end exchange meetings, everyone pays with high-grade spiritual stones. It's nothing. Ye Jiu smiled and waved his hand. I called you here this time to discuss the construction of our Qinghu Peak. Our Qinghu Peak, not counting the peripheral peaks near the Zilong mountain range, also has more than 100 acres of spiritual fields. Now that the clan's spiritual rice has been harvested, these lands now belong to our family. Do you have any plans? Ye Jiu said leisurely, while drinking spiritual tea. Grandpa, it's 103 stones and 2 acres of spiritual land, including 45 acres of first-class middle-grade spiritual land and 87 acres of first-grade low-grade spiritual land. Ye Changsheng replied with a smile. You little devil, I didn't expect you to remember it so clearly. So what are your plans? Ye Jiu laughed. Grandpa, I do have some plans, but Qinghu Peak is not very good at keeping secrets now. There will be many security risks after some plans are implemented, so, first of all, we need to set up a mountain guard formation. This will not only ensure safety, but also greatly increase privacy. Ye Changsheng said. Yes, the first step is indeed to purchase a mountain protection formation. Ye Jiu nodded. After setting up the mountain protection formation, we need to set up the spirit ascending formation. Qinghu Peak is only a first level mid-level spiritual vein, and it can only be used by middle level key refining monks. This is definitely not good. In the long run, the mountain protecting formation and higher level spiritual veins are the foundation of our group. I am going to look for opportunities to start with these 2 items in the near future. Ye Changsheng said. Well, that's true, but both of these are expensive. You can take your time. As for those spiritual fields, you can continue to plant a crop of spiritual rice until next year, which is also a big gain. Yes, Grandpa, Ye Changsheng replied. It's nothing, just go back and practice. Remember that cultivation is the foundation, and everything else is just a trail. Ye Jiu said. Changsheng, Notes: Ye Changsheng bowed and retreated. Ye Changsheng returned to the Eternal Life Garden and put 100 high-grade spiritual stones into the storage bag on his body. However, before he could stand firm in the garden, there was a sudden strange vibration in the storage bag, as if something was about to break out of the bag. Ye Changsheng was shocked and quickly took out all the items in the storage bag one by one and placed them on the stone table in front of him. Among the piles of spiritual herbs, elixirs and miscellaneous items, the seemingly ordinary nameless token given by his grandfather caught his attention. At this moment, the nameless token was emitting a faint but increasingly strong light, and the 100 top grade spirit stones, as if being pulled by some mysterious force, slowly floated up and then turned into streams of light, converging towards the token. Ye Changsheng observed intently and saw that the surface of the token began to change. The streams of light transformed from the spirit stones outlined mysterious patterns on the token. As time went by, the patterns became clearer and clearer, and finally converged into 3 gilded characters: Heavenly Palace Order. He was shocked to find that as the true appearance of the Heavenly Palace Order was revealed, the 100 top grade spirit stones had also burned out the last ray of light, turning into a pile of fine ashes, which drifted away with the wind with a light touch. Ye Changsheng was surprised and uncertain, but he also knew that the opportunity had come and should not be missed. He stretched out his palm and gently took the Heavenly Palace Order. He only felt a warm airflow coming from the token, flowing along his arm to his whole body, bringing an indescribable sense of comfort. Messages were transmitted one after another. It turns out that this is the correct way to open this opportunity. 100 high quality spirit stones. No wonder grandpa didn't open it. After all, the CUI family is just a key refining family. Grandpa is just a late stage key refining elder. How can he get access to 100 high quality spirit stones? And this token is just a medium for the token holder to communicate with the Heavenly Palace. According to the information conveyed by the token holder makes an altar according to the specifications and then drives it with the transmitted spell and can descend to the Heavenly Palace in an unknown place with his spiritual consciousness, communicate with other token holders, and place enough spirit stones on the altar to pass and exchange items with each other. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 Altar. It is really a magical existence. After Ye Changsheng knew the mechanism of the Xiangang order, he couldn't help but think that this Xiangang order is a bit like Teobeo in his previous life, but the goods arrive in an instant, which is more advanced than that point, and this token is so advanced that Ye Changsheng concluded that the transactions in the Xiangang must have great value, allowing the Ye family to buy various rare things without worry. There is no need to worry that the rare spiritual fruits and spiritual plants he sells will be coveted by others, because he entered with his spiritual consciousness and was in the Xiangang. No one knew the location of the other party's true body. Ye Changsheng really felt that this was a trading method tailored for him. However, this is not surprising. The cultivators in the world of cultivation have the need for safe and concealed transactions. The emergence of a trading place like the Xiangang is inevitable. After learning about the materials of the altar, Ye Changsheng used the leaves of the baby and wood to transform himself into an old woman, and drove the flying boat out of the Ye family formation and headed towards the Fenglifang market. Arriving at Fengli market, Ye Changsheng went from shop to shop, and after a day of hard work, he finally gathered all the materials for building the altar. However, the price was that Ye Changsheng spent all his spirit stones, and also spent 21st level compassionate fruits. The most expensive one was the Kangming stone, which cost 5,000 spirit stones for a fist-sized one. After buying all the materials, Ye Changsheng rushed back to the Ye family at lightning speed. Ye Changsheng entered the retreat room of Changsheng Garden, and he gently closed the stone door of the retreat room. Only he and a table full of precious materials were left in the room. Rare materials such as Kangming stone, Lingguang sand, celestine, magic crystal stone, etc. still limited their own luster in the dim room. Ye Changsheng took a deep breath, calmed down his excitement, and began to arrange the altar according to the method taught by Xiangangling. He first placed the Kangming stone on the ground of the retreat room in a specific direction. Each piece of Kangming stone is positioned like a star and is precisely embedded in the spiritual array on the ground. They are the foundation of the altar and the key to guiding the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Then, Ye Changsheng took out the spiritual light sand, which flickered with spiritual light under the light. He carefully sprinkled the spiritual light sand into the gaps between the Kangming stones. The sand slowly flowed with his movements, gradually forming complex spiritual patterns, like mysterious runes carved on the ground. The lapis lazuli was carefully carved into several small arrays by him, and placed on the nodes of the spiritual patterns. Each piece of lapis lazuli was refined by Ye Changsheng's skillful hands, releasing a faint blue light. They are the core of activating the entire altar. Then, Ye Changsheng took out the magic crystal stones, which were placed in a circle on the periphery of the altar. The spiritual power of the magic crystal stone slowly merged with the spiritual patterns under the guidance of Ye Changsheng, providing the altar with the necessary spiritual power source. Finally, Ye Changsheng placed the Xiangang token in the center of the altar. The word Xiangang on the token seemed to come alive at this moment, emitting dazzling golden light. The entire retreat room was illuminated by the golden light, and every material on the altar began to resonate under the shining of the golden light, making a slight buzzing sound. Ye Changsheng stepped back a few steps, quickly formed seals with his hands, and injected his spiritual power into the altar with the guidance of his spiritual power. The spiritual patterns on the altar began to rotate slowly, and the speed of the spiritual light sand flowed faster and faster, forming a small spiritual power vortex. He knew that the altar had been successfully arranged. Ye Changsheng took a deep breath, calmed the waves in his heart, and then sat down in the center of the altar, slowly extending his spiritual consciousness to the Xiangang token in his hand. In an instant, he felt dizzy, as if he had traveled through time and space, and in the blink of an eye he was in a magnificent palace in heaven. Looking around, the continuous palaces are scattered and orderly. Each layer of the palace has its own unique circular layout, symbolizing different levels of cultivation, and exuding its own unique aura. In the outermost layer, the aura of the foundation building cultivators is like the stars in the night sky, dense and dazzling, surrounding the entire heavenly palace. Ye Changsheng's eyes penetrated the crowd, and found that in this layer of palaces, key refining cultivators like him were particularly rare. Obviously, this is a trading market for foundation building cultivators. His eyes continued to extend inward. The second layer palace exuded the majestic aura of the purple mansion strongman. Every place seemed more solemn and sacred, and the purple light flashed, showing the dignity of the purple mansion ancestors. When his consciousness tried to explore further, he encountered an invisible barrier. The unfathomable sense of oppression made him understand that the deeper was the realm of high-level cultivators, far beyond his current reach. So, Ye Changsheng retracted his consciousness, walked out of his palace, and stepped into the bustling outer market. Each small palace here is more like an independent shop, which should be the meaning of the name Xiangang. There were crowds of people in front of the small palaces, and all kinds of rare items were dazzling. Ye Changsheng's eyes wandered between the stalls, and he was surprised to find more than a dozen foundation building pills, each of which was sealed in a glittering jade bottle, exuding an alluring pill fragrance. What surprised him even more was that even foundation building fruits were sold at many stalls, and there were many spiritual fruits that he couldn't name. They were displayed in transparent jade boxes, each of which exuded a rich spiritual energy, with different shapes, colorful colors, and full of vitality. In a corner of the shop, Ye Changsheng noticed the carefully cared for monster cubs. They either had sharp claws or gorgeous wings. Each of them looked different. Next to these cubs, there are some mysterious monster eggs, which are kept in spiritual liquid full of spiritual energy. The runes on the eggshells are flowing, which seems to hide the secret of life. Various precious spiritual liquids are also displayed in the shops. They are sealed in exquisite jade bottles. Each drop contains pure spiritual energy. For practitioners, these spiritual liquids are precious resources for cultivation, alchemy, or as energy for magic tools. Ye Changsheng's eyes were attracted by some strange minerals. These minerals emit various colors of light and have different textures. Some are as hard as iron, and some are as soft as cotton. On the other side, the finished magic tools are from the first level to the second level. Whether it is attack or defense, each one flashes with exciting spiritual light. In the market of Xianggang, Ye Changsheng also found some special talismans. These talismans are painted with complex formations, which can give cultivators temporary power or special abilities. He saw the talisman masters carefully making talismans, and every stroke was full of mysterious power. Although most of the items on the market seemed unfamiliar to Ye Changsheng, these strange shaped spiritual herbs, spiritual stones, magic weapons, and various immortal cultivation supplies were all novel things he had never seen before. Ye Changsheng's eyes lingered on the many treasures, and he had already begun to plan how to use these resources. However, he also knew that these precious items were traded with precious high-quality spiritual stones. Chapter 36 Transaction. Therefore, Ye Changsheng's first priority is to find a spiritual medicine store and sell the spiritual fruits in his hands. Ye Changsheng followed the direction to his right and passed dozens of palaces with no doors open. The owners of these palaces should have not activated the Heavenly Palace order, or were not online. Ye Changsheng walked for a while, and finally found a seemingly large shop specializing in elixirs. There are more than a dozen foundation building shopkeepers in this shop, and hundreds of key refining waiters. Ye Changsheng went directly to the shopkeeper. Senior, hello, I have some spiritual fruits that I want to sell. I don't know. The foundation building monk was suddenly startled when he heard Ye Changsheng's words, and then said, "Here's a high-level internal service courier." Ye Changsheng couldn't understand it at all. Seeing Ye Changsheng's stunned expression, the shopkeeper burst out laughing. Then he handed Ye Changsheng a shining shell. Ye Changsheng held the shell and suddenly understood what the shopkeeper said. "This little friend is coming to Xianggang for the first time. Don't be surprised. This one is a witty speaker and can translate what the other party said." The shopkeeper said, "Senior, are you from a faraway place?" Ye Changsheng said doubtfully. Because he remembered that his words were the common language, and the Longnan immortal cultivation world, where he was located, was very big. Not to mention the third level sects headed by the ancestors of Zifu. There are also several 6th level sects headed by Yuanshan half immortal. There are countless other sects below level 4 and level 5 and Fangshi. Grandpa once said that in Longnan's world of immortality, even if the foundation building monks flew at full strength, they would never be able to see it all in a lifetime. This shows how vast the world of Longnan's immortality is. That's right. Looking at your clothes, little friend, you should be from the Longnan immortal cultivation world. We are from the Penglai Islands cultivation world overseas. The shopkeeper said, "You actually come from another world of cultivating immortals. And it's also a world of cultivating immortals outside of the Shenhuan continent." Ye Changsheng was surprised. He originally thought that this heavenly palace was an organization of Longnan's immortal cultivation world, but he didn't expect that it was an organization transcending Longnan's immortal cultivation world. "Yes, our immortal cultivation world is the closest to your Xiang immortal cultivation world in Shenhuan continent. It is normal for my little friend to be surprised when he comes to Xianggang for the first time," the shopkeeper said. This made Ye Changsheng even more shocked. He only vaguely knew that the world he was in was called Shenhuan continent. He didn't expect to meet people from outside Shenhuan continent today. As the exchange deepened, Ye Changsheng gradually learned that the Shenhuan continent not only had the Longnan cultivation world, but also the Langbei cultivation world in the north, the Central Kingdom's cultivation world, and the 5-element cultivation world. The Eastern 7 Stars cultivation realm, Xiang cultivation realm, and Xianshan cultivation realm. The oasis in the west is the world of immortality, and the world of Buddhas who cultivate immortality. There is also the Cape Hope cultivation world further south. There are 10 major realms of cultivating immortals in total. In addition to these, there are also overseas island cultivators. For example, the shopkeeper opposite is from the Penglai Islands cultivator, and there is not only Shenhuan continent, but also the famous Fengxing continent, Xingdao continent, Zenai continent, Heian continent, Yachan continent, Changguan continent. The ancestor of Yuanshan didn't know how big this world was. This completely shocked Ye Changsheng. Longnan's world of immortality was more than 10,000 times larger than the earth in his previous life. Now that the real world was unfolding, Ye Changsheng felt even more insignificant. After thinking about it for a long time, Ye Changsheng finally recovered. Senior, this is my first time here. I want to sell some of the rare spiritual fruits I have on me. I wonder if you will accept them. Ye Changsheng said sincerely. Of course I'll accept it. I wonder what spiritual fruit you want to sell. The shopkeeper said. Just as Ye Changsheng was about to use the magic formula to take out the spirit fruit from the storage bag, he found that the spirit fruit would not come out. Very embarrassed for a moment. Haha, little friend, this is indeed your first time here. The storage bag and clothes you are wearing are all reflected by the altar. You are not really in the heavenly palace. You need to spend your spiritual stones at home to teleport your real body through the altar. The shopkeeper said. Ye Changsheng understood this time and immediately communicated his true identity. Ye Changsheng's real body placed all the hundreds of spirit stones stored in the training room into the recessed area of the altar with a thought. All the boxes containing spiritual fruits in the storage bag were teleported out, and 36 spiritual stones on the corresponding altar were turned into powder. Ye Changsheng finally took out the spiritual fruit this time, and now Ye Changsheng no longer hid it. Just put them all in one word. Senior, please look at these. These are 32 first level loving kindness fruits, 12 first level immortal pear trees, and 17 first level life extending flat peaches. Ye Changsheng said. The shopkeeper pondered for a moment. I have a general understanding of the first order loving heart fruit and the first order shanks and pear, but I need to evaluate the life extending effect of this life extending flat peach. Of course you can, senior. Please. Ye Changsheng quickly took out a flat peach. I saw the foundation building shopkeeper firing a magic spell at Panteo. A stream of magic power hovered over Panteo, and Panteo gradually flashed 9 circles of aura. Yes, the first level flat peach can extend your life for 9 years. It can be said to be the best among the best. The shopkeeper said. Then, little friend, please listen to our purchase price. If you think it is too low, you can go to other stores to check it out. First order, loving kindness fruit, 3 top grade spiritual stones. First order, immortal pear, 30 top grade spiritual stones. First order, life extending flat peach, 80 grade high grade spiritual stone. I wonder what you think, little friend. Ye Changsheng was excited when he heard this. The purchase price of this Xiangan was actually 2 or 3 times higher than that of Longnan's Yuxiang. It seems that some Xiuxian areas have a great demand for spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs, but the production is not large, which has led to such a large increase in prices. Senior, there is no problem with this price. These spiritual fruits will be sold to you at this price. Ye Changsheng quickly replied. The bigger the store, the more it values reputation. Ye Changsheng believes that this spiritual medicine store will not cheat him. Well, then, these spiritual fruits are worth a total of 1,816 high quality spiritual stones. After the shopkeeper finished speaking, he handed Ye Changsheng a storage bag with countless spiritual stones in it. It seems that your family is good at cultivating rare spiritual fruits. This Miao shell is given to you. I hope that, if you have any good things in the future, don't forget our Dade shop. The shopkeeper said. Of course. Ye Changsheng said quickly, thinking that the name Dade shop is quite down to earth. After saying goodbye to the shopkeeper of Dade shop, Ye Changsheng hurried to the formation area. Although the sellers of spiritual medicine and formations are both in the foundation building ring, they are in different areas. Ye Changsheng was dazzled by the array area. In the end, he spent 1,800 high quality spirit stones to buy a set of shiny thunderlight array. This is a relatively fine set of formations among the second level lower quality formations. Ye Changsheng is quite satisfied with this set of formations. It does not rely on spirit veins. As long as there are enough spirit stones, it can exert the power of the second level. Chapter 37 Mountain Protection Formation. At the same time, its effect is also extremely powerful. It combines the spiritual power of thunder attributes and 5 element attributes, and can form a powerful protective shield in a short period of time, to resist the invasion of foreign enemies. When the formation is triggered, the Cheyenne thunder and light array will quickly activate to form a barrier of intertwined thunder and light, which can not only block most attacks, but also release thunder and lightning attacks around the barrier, causing continuous electric shock damage to the enemy point. In addition, the Cheyenne Thunder Light Array also has a certain degree of confusion. Through the refraction of light and the flash of thunder and lightning, it is difficult for the enemy to see clearly what is going on inside the array, thus increasing the enemy's confusion and difficulty in attacking point. The automatic defense mechanism of the formation is also a highlight. Once it senses an intrusion from the outside, it can be activated immediately, eliminating the need for the person sitting in charge to control it at all times, saving a lot of effort. In addition, the concealment characteristics of the formation also made Ye Changsheng's eyes shine. In the inactive state, the formation can blend into the surrounding environment, making it difficult for even monks of the same level to detect its existence, which provides him with additional security. The most important thing is that, if there are enough spirit stones, the monks in the later stage of key refining can use it to exert the attack power and defense power of the foundation building stage. However, Cheyenne Thunderlight Array is not perfect. It consumes a lot of spiritual stones. Maintaining the operation of the array for a long time requires a large amount of spiritual stones as a backing point to maintain the first level high grade defense state. 30 spirit stones are required every day. To maintain the second level peak state, 160 spirit stones need to be consumed every day. This does not include the spiritual stones consumed for defense and attack states. Ye Changsheng put this big gold dealer into a storage bag, and the real body and the Ye family drove the altar. The spiritual stones on the altar were consumed quickly, and a total of 72 spiritual stones disappeared. The storage bag appeared on the altar as Ye Changsheng's consciousness returned. The heavenly palace order dimmed and fell directly on the altar. Ye Changsheng was full of excitement. In this transaction, he not only sold the spiritual fruit for a price far higher than the price in the nearby market, but also purchased a second level mountain protection formation at a low price point. If this formation were purchased at a nearby market, Ye Changsheng estimated that it would cost close to 300,000 spirit stones. In contrast, it can be seen that Longnan's world of immortality is lagging behind. Ye Changsheng quickly went to visit his grandfather Ye Jiuhu with his storage bag. He told him the origin of the Xiangang order and everything he saw in the Xiangang. Good fortune, another good fortune. It's because of your filial piety that your grandfather gave you the heavenly palace order. This is cause and effect. Ye Jiuhu sighed. His grandson was so lucky. My grandson doesn't know whether to tell grandpa the truth about the Xiangang order now. Ye Changsheng was a little hesitant. After all, his grandfather was also a close relative. Ye Jiuhu pondered for a long time. It's better not to tell. It's mainly for confidentiality. Who wouldn't be jealous of such a big opportunity? Even if the doting patriarch knows about it, he will probably come to snatch it away. From now on, only our father and I will know about this matter. Can't your mother also tell you? After all, there are too many soul hunting things in the world of immortality now, so you must not be careless. Ye Jiuhu warned. Yes, grandpa. Changsheng knows. Ye Changsheng bowed. But it's great that you chose this mountain protection formation. Now that it's arranged, you can build the spiritual tree garden as you like. But to set up the formation, we need a second level formation master. I will go to Fenglifang City to hire a famous second level formation master in a few days. Ye Jiuhu said. After Ye Changsheng said goodbye to his grandfather, he returned to Changsheng Garden. Although the two great opportunities of the Immortal Tree space and the Heavenly Palace were very exciting, he knew that his own cultivation was the foundation point. Now that he has a panacea that can break through to the later stage of key refining, he just wants to gain a solid foundation as soon as possible and steadily cross the threshold of the 6th level of key refining. After all, He had just broken through to the 6th level of key refining before, and was still quite far away from the peak of the 6th level point just when Ye Changsheng was practicing hard in the training room. Ye Jiu has spent a high price of 5,000 spirit stones to hire a 2nd level array mage with a good reputation, and began to set up the Shianai Thunder array on King Hu Peak Point after half a month of arrangement. It was finally completed point after seeing off the formation master, Ye Jiu, who called Ye Shianai, who had just broken through to the late stage of key refining. Shianai is the jade plate that is the hub of the formation. You can also sacrifice it. In the future, our family will have more and more secrets. This mountain protecting formation needs to be turned on at all times. From now on, one of us must be at home to monitor the changes in this formation to prevent young people from sneaking in and discovering the secrets of our family. Remember, even if the clan leader and the first prince come up, they can't be let in casually. Ye Jiu warned. Okay, Dad. Ye Shianai responded. I don't always want to let go of the family. The main reason is that the opportunity brought by Changsheng is too amazing. It will be no good if too many people know about it. After I break through to the foundation building stage and take control of the family, the benefits to the whole family will naturally be indispensable. Ye Jiu, who had already made his own plans on how to deal with the relationship with his family point, because Ye Shianai had reached the peak of the 5th level of key refining very early. He had reached the peak of the 6th level of key refining after eating shanks and pear. He also added barrier breaking elixirs such as one Lingdon after half a year of not lacking all kinds of elixirs. Naturally, he broke through to the 7th level of key refining point after his breakthrough. He did not reveal it to the outside world because of Ye Jiu's instructions. Others thought he was a monk at the 5th level of key refining point. Ye Shianai and Cui Linglang are also at the 6th level of key refining now, but they have been in seclusion to consolidate their foundation and have not taken the one Ling pill to force a breakthrough to the late stage of key refining point at the main peak of Kingsu Peak. In the main hall of the clan point, the two elders, Ye Jialang and Ye Dongren, are leisurely tasting spiritual tea. The interior of the hall is solemn and elegant, and the air is filled with a faint tea fragrance and fairy spirit, rising up like a fairyland. Ye Jialang is wearing a green robe with cloud patterns embroidered with gold thread, simple but noble. He has a resolute face, a sense of majesty in his eyes, and his manners naturally reveal the temperament of a leader. Ye Dongren is wearing a plain white robe, with only a Kingsu clan emblem as decoration, which looks particularly elegant. His silver hair is tied behind his head, his eyes are deep, giving people a sense of transcendence. The two sat around the coffee table, on which a set of exquisite purple sand tea sets were placed. Ye Jialang gently raised the teacup, took a sip, and praised, "This year's spiritual tea has a stronger fragrance." Yes, not only is the tea fragrance stronger, but our Ye family is also becoming more and more prosperous. However, what do you think of Ye Jiu's recent arrangement of a mountain protection formation on King Hu Peak? Ye Dongren asked indifferently. He has already informed me that King Hu Peak is close to the Zilong Mountains, and there are many monsters. Without a mountain protection formation, the cultivators on the peak are in some danger. Chapter 38 Kingling Tea. But this move is a first-class mountain protection formation, which requires 50,000 to 60,000 spirit stones. This is a big deal. We don't have 50,000 to 60,000 spirit stones in our clan treasury now. Ye Jialang sighed a little. Needless to say, Ye Jiu's family must have obtained an extraordinary opportunity, which allowed them to quickly break through to the 9th level of key refining, and his equipment is also a top-grade first-class one. Otherwise I wouldn't have lost to him so quickly in the previous contest. Now, it costs a lot to build a mountain protection formation. I'm afraid it's mainly to protect the extraordinary things inside. Ye Dongren guessed. Ye Jialang poured half a cup of tea for Ye Dongren and said, "But it's also an opportunity for their family. If someone in their branch can build a foundation, then my Ye family won't need it." Yes, it's good that you can think like this. It's worth it that I pushed you to be the clan leader back then. The family can only prosper in this way. The Ye family has been waiting for too long to build a foundation. This time it depends on Ye Jiu. The two smiled at each other. King Hu Peak. Ye Changsheng came out of seclusion After about a month of seclusion, he was very happy to learn that the Shianai Thunder Lightning Array, the mountain protection array of Kinghu Peak, had been arranged. Uncle Ye Shianai demonstrated the power of the array to Ye Changsheng without sparing the spiritual stones. After seeing the majestic power of the second level array, Ye Changsheng finally put down his uneasy heart and began to plant spiritual fruit trees. Ye Changsheng planted 3 spiritual fruit tree gardens and 1 spiritual medicine garden. They are the first level 6 in orchard, the first level shanks and pear garden, and the first level bee fruit garden. The spiritual medicine garden mainly plants more than a dozen first level high quality spiritual medicines harvested by the father and son in Yangke secret realm, mainly Zuanhuo ginseng, Jinshihe, Yaoming grass, Xiang ginseng, Xingling grass, etc. Because the concentration of the spiritual veins of Kinghu Peak increases from low to high, and Ye Changsheng is destined to build many spiritual medicine gardens in the future. So the first level spiritual medicine garden is first arranged at the first level low quality spiritual field halfway up the mountain, with a scale of 1 acre. Because of the lack of spiritual energy, Ye Changsheng put a lot of broken spiritual stones, which made Ye Changsheng more anxious to improve the spiritual veins of Kinghu Peak. Not far from the spiritual medicine garden, Ye Changsheng successively built a 1 acre first level 6 in fruit tree garden. There are 2 mature 6 in fruit trees in the 6 in fruit tree garden, and the rest of the places are buried with 6 in fruit cores. As for how many can sprout, it depends on the probability. This is the case with spiritual fruit trees. Even if there are seeds, there are only a few fruit trees that can sprout and eventually grow up. Otherwise, the materials in the cultivation world would have been flooded long ago. The same is true for the first level shanks and pear garden, which is 1 acre in size. There are 2 mature shanks and pear fruit trees in it, and the rest of the places are also buried with shanks and pear seeds. The last one is the bee fruit garden, which has a mature bee fruit tree. As for the seeds, Ye Changsheng also asked for them from his mother Cui Linglong, and buried them around. It depends on God's will how many can grow. After finishing the work in the orchard, Ye Changsheng returned to the room, and came to the True Dragon Immortal Tree space. Now there are only 2 first level longevity peach trees, a second level compassion fruit tree, and a third level 100 changes wood in the space. Because these trees are too important, Ye Changsheng dare not release them. Ye Changsheng calculated the days. Recently, it is the 8th month since the True Dragon Immortal Tree space was opened. The 8th drop of first level fairy dew has been generated. Ye Changsheng took it out as usual and put it in the jade bottle. As for the use of this 8th drop of fairy dew, although Ye Changsheng wanted to continue to produce longevity peaches and raise funds to buy the formation of Kinghu Peak to improve the spiritual veins, but he was stopped by Ye Jiuhu. After all, their family has changed a lot recently, and everyone has guessed that Ye Jiuhu's family has an opportunity. Now it is not appropriate to continue to make a big noise. After all, the improvement of the spiritual veins will cause the mountain to move upward, and the movement will be very large. Ye Jiuhu asked Ye Changsheng to keep a low profile before he was promoted to the foundation building stage, so Ye Changsheng had no idea of stimulating the birth of the longevity peaches. To develop in a low profile, he had to continue looking for precious seeds. Ye Changsheng did not plan to continue going to the market. After all, he was lucky to get the seeds of the longevity peaches and the immortal pears before. Other rare seeds are also hard to come by. Now that Ye Changsheng has an organization like the Heavenly Palace, why would he go far away? Ye Changsheng came to the Heavenly Palace altar deep in the secret room. His mind sank into the Heavenly Palace token, and in a blink of an eye he came to the Heavenly Palace again. Ye Changsheng continued to wander around the outermost ring, and finally he found a place selling spiritual medicine and spiritual fruit seeds. Various rare spiritual seeds were clearly marked with prices. First level golden spiritual fruit seeds. Golden spiritual fruits can enhance the cultivation effect of gold attributed exercises, and are particularly important for gold base cultivators. Price: 1 seed for 4 top grade spiritual stones. First level sunflower seeds. Sunflowers have a strong fire attribute aura, suitable for fire monks to practice. Price: 1 seed for 5 top grade spirit stones. First level kindling tea seeds. After Kingling tea matures, it can be brewed and drunk to remove the poison in the monks' bodies. It is very rare. Price: 1 seed for 4 top grade spirit stones. First level frostgrass seeds. Frostgrass can grow in extremely cold places, and its leaves can be used to refine ice attribute pills. Price: 1 seed for 3 top grade spirit stones. First level wind spirit tree seeds. The leaves of the wind spirit tree sway in the wind, which can enhance the power of wind attribute spells. Price: 1 seed for 2 top grade spirit stones. First level thunder seeds. When thunder seeds mature, they will make a thunderous sound, suitable for thunder attribute monks. Price: 1 seed for 4 top grade spirit stones. First level red sandalwood spiritual wood seeds. The tranquil incense made from red sandalwood spiritual wood can make it very easy for cultivators to enter a state of meditation, and their practice will be twice as effective with half the effort. Price: 1 seed for 5 top grade spiritual stones. First level spiritual rock seeds. Spiritual rock is as hard as stone, can absorb earth attributed spiritual energy, suitable for earth type cultivators. Price: 1 seed for 3 top grade spiritual stones. First level ice heart flower seeds. The fragrance of ice heart flower can calm the mind and help cultivators enter a deep state of practice. Price: 1 seed for 3 top grade spiritual stones. First level longevity pine seeds. Mature pine seeds of longevity pine, food of ancient immortals. People of any attribute can increase their cultivation after eating. Price: 1 seed for 6 top grade spiritual stones. Ye Changsheng waited for a long time and finally spent 15 top grade spiritual stones to buy first level Kingling tea seeds, first level red sandalwood spiritual wood seeds, and first level longevity pine seeds. In the end, only 3 top grade spiritual stones were left on him. With a thought, Ye Changsheng's consciousness returned from the heavenly palace to his body. Now Ye Changsheng only has 1 drop of fairy dew, and now he has to make a choice, which spirit seed to give birth to first. 1 Shao pine seeds increase cultivation, and now the whole family has no shortage of elixirs, so this one will be postponed. The tranquility incense made from red sandalwood spirit wood can also improve cultivation. After all, it is just breathing gas, so the effect is not so obvious. So this one will also be postponed. In the end, Ye Changsheng chose to give birth to the first level Kingling tea in the fairy tree space. A moment later, in the space of the true dragon fairy tree, a lush green Kingling tea tree more than 1 meter tall appeared in front of Ye Changsheng. Ye Changsheng was very familiar with the tea making process in the mortal world, and Ye Changsheng used spiritual fire to stir fry it a little. Chapter 39 Xianai's Wedding. Ye Changsheng lightly put the roasted tea leaves into the antique teapot and then poured in boiling water. The tea leaves stretched in the boiling water, releasing a faint spiritual light and fresh tea fragrance. He waited patiently, letting the tea leaves fully soak in the pot. The tea gradually turned emerald green, like the tender leaves of early spring, full of vitality. Soon, Ye Changsheng picked up the teapot and poured the emerald green tea into the porcelain cup in front of him. A layer of light mist appeared on the surface of the tea, and a wisp of fragrance drifted with the wind, making people feel relaxed and happy. He picked up the teacup, blew away the heat gently, and then tasted it in small sips. As soon as the tea entered his mouth, Ye Changsheng felt a cool feeling spreading on the tip of his tongue, and then turned into a warm current, slowly flowing down his throat, warming his chest. This Kingling tea not only tastes mellow, but also contains rich spiritual power. He can clearly feel that the speed of the internal skills is accelerating, and the spiritual power in his body has become more active due to the nourishment of this tea. After drinking a cup of tea, Ye Changsheng took out a pill and put it in his mouth. The pill melted in his mouth, and the medicinal power quickly spread in his body, complementing the spiritual power in the tea, forming a wonderful resonance. He immediately began to meditate and practice, guiding the spiritual power in his body to circulate along a specific route. As time went on, Ye Changsheng felt that his cultivation had improved significantly. Every cycle of spiritual power was smoother than before, and the growth of cultivation was more obvious. He was secretly surprised in his heart The effect of this kindling tea far exceeded his expectations, and was of great help to cultivation. After the practice, Ye Changsheng opened his eyes, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Ye Changsheng finished preparing all the tea leaves, and finally got to catties and 3 teals. He sent half a catty to his grandfather Ye Jiuhu, and 3 teals to his mother and uncles and aunts. These are enough for them to drink for a year. After receiving them, everyone tasted them, and was very surprised. They had been taking pills for many years, and were in need of this kind of spiritual tea that could eliminate pill poison. Now it was hard for them to slow down their cultivation. The cultivation of immortals passed quickly. After Ye Changsheng had been in seclusion for more than half a month, it was already the day of his uncle Ye Xianyu's wedding. Qinghu Peak, which was usually filled with fairy charm and mist, also opened its formation. There were lights and decorations everywhere, and the atmosphere was joyful. At the entrance of the mountain gate, a pair of huge red lanterns were hung, with golden dragons painted on them, symbolizing good luck. Along the mountain road paved with bluestone, both sides were filled with red lanterns, fluttering in the wind. In front of the main hall of Qinghu Peak, a huge red arch was built, with exquisite patterns and blessing words carved on it. On both sides of the arch were a pair of tall wedding pillars, with red ribbons wrapped around them, which looked particularly festive. Around the main hall, cranes danced gracefully, and the borrowed spirit beasts of the tribe seemed to feel the joy, and played on the grass in the sky. Cranes and spirit birds lined up, flying and circling, as if offering blessings for the wedding. In the hall, fairy music was melodious, the zither and the harp were in harmony, and the fairies were dressed in gorgeous dresses and dancing. In the center of the hall, there was a huge red flower bed, on which various exotic flowers and plants were blooming, emitting bursts of fragrance. Ye Xianyu, dressed in a red wedding dress, was in high spirits, and stood in front of the hall to welcome the guests. Guests came to congratulate one after another, and the whole Qinghu Peak was filled with laughter and joy. As the wedding progressed, the gift-giving and wedding banquet sessions gradually unfolded. In front of the main hall of Qinghu Peak, an area dedicated to receiving gifts was set up. The gift table was covered with red silk, which looked particularly solemn. The guests lined up in turn, and presented the carefully prepared gifts. There were many kinds of gifts, including rare spiritual herbs and medicines, exquisite magic tools, precious jade, and some unique fairy secrets. Ye Xianyu and Liu Kana stood beside the gift platform, smiling and accepting the blessings of every guest, and personally returned the gifts. The guests congratulated one after another, and the scene was very lively. After the gift session, the wedding banquet officially began. The square of Qinghu Peak was filled with long banquets, with red tablecloths and exquisite tableaux on the table. The fairy chefs had already prepared a sumptuous meal, with delicious delicacies such as spirit beast meat, fairy fruit, and spirit wine, all of which were available and fragrant. The guests took their seats, raised their glasses and drank, laughing and talking continuously. The fairy band played melodious music on the side, and the fairies danced, adding a bit of fairy charm to the wedding banquet. Ye Xianyu and the bride were at the main table, accepting toasts and blessings from everyone, with happy smiles on their faces. Especially Ye Jiu, who was extremely happy, and kept toasting with others. Happy time always passes quickly. Near dusk, the wedding banquet was over, and the tribesmen packed up the furniture, and evacuated Qinghu Peak. Ye Xianyu led Liu Kana to find Ye Changsheng alone. Changsheng, I brought you around here this time to thank you alone. If you hadn't been generous with the precious spiritual fruit, our marriage might have fallen through this time. Don't forget the well digger when you drink the water. I'm here to thank you. Ye Xianyu said. Yes, Changsheng, I can't do anything about this family. Fortunately, you are willing to pay for your uncle, so we can finally get together. As an aunt, I'm here to thank you. Liu Kana said. As they said that, the two were about to bow deeply, and Ye Changsheng hurriedly stopped them. That can't be done. We are all a family. We don't follow those secular etiquette. Ye Changsheng hurriedly said. After saying that, Ye Changsheng took out a beautifully decorated transparent gift box from his storage bag, which contained 2 flying swords. Uncle, aunt, this is the first grade top grade Iron Feng Mandarin Duck sword that I recently bought from Fenglai Market. I Wish that uncle and aunt's love will be as loyal as the mandarin ducks and their cultivation will be as powerful as the Xianfeng. Ye Changsheng blessed. It's so precious. You can't do it. You can't do it. Liu. Kaina was a little surprised to see that Ye Changsheng took out a pair of first grade top grade flying swords at once, and she refused to take anything. Kaina, just take it. Don't you know that this person in our family is a rich man? Even our father has to take spirit stones for him. Ye Xianyu said loudly. Ahem. Ye Jiu, who walked over while coughing, pointy glared at Ye Xianyu first, and then said, yes, Kaina, just put away Changsheng's intentions. He doesn't need that little spirit stone. Seeing that her father-in-law had spoken, Liu Kaina put away the pair of flying swords. It just so happens that I have something good to give you. After saying that, Ye Jiu, who took out the Wanling pill. This is the Wanling pill. With this pill, you can calm down your cultivation and use it after a few years when you break through to the peak of the 6th level of key refining. This. Liu Kaina was shocked again. She didn't expect her father-in-law to give her such a precious pill point. Just when she was stunned, Ye Xianyu winked at her. Thank you, father. Liu Kaina quickly took it. Chapter 42nd level Ambrosia. After the guests left, Ye Jiu, who called everyone to a meeting. Liu Kaina just swore that she would not tell the secrets of our family. From now on, we are a family. This is equivalent to Liu Kaina officially joining Ye Changsheng's family. Cui Linglang and Ye Xianyu also took the opportunity to present their gifts. Cui Linglang presented a first level medium grade magic pendant, which has a defensive function. Ye Xianyu presented a first level medium grade brocade handkerchief, which can emit a soul enchanting fragrance to interfere with the enemy. Liu Kaina is a first level medium grade spiritual plant master. From now on, you will be responsible for the planting of the spiritual fruit orchard and spiritual fields at home. Of course, you can command mortals to plant the spiritual fields. Ye Jiu, who assigned tasks to the newcomer Liu Kaina. Of course, taking care of the spiritual fields at home is only a side job. The main job is still to work hard to practice. Practice is everyone's top priority. Ye Jiu, who ordered, yes, father, this is the key boosting pill for improving the cultivation of the middle level key refining. If you don't have it, ask me again, and strive to break through to the late stage of key refining as soon as possible. As he said this, Ye Jiu, who took out 3 bottles of key boosting pills and handed them to Liu Kaina. Liu Kaina responded excitedly. He didn't expect the Xianyu family to be so rich. Everyone gave valuable gifts, especially his nephew. She didn't expect that daily cultivation would be so generous. She didn't even see the key boosting pills in the Liu family. Of course, there is also the task of giving birth. Don't be shy. How can we strengthen our Ye family without children? Ye Jiu, who continued, 10 years, at least 2 children in 10 years. Ye Jiu, who stretched out 2 fingers. Liu Kaina looked embarrassed. Ye Xianyu laughed. Dad, you really underestimated me. I have such a good body. How can I give birth to 2? I have to give birth to 10 or 8. Ye Xianyu patted his chest and said. Liu Kaina blushed and secretly twisted Ye Xianyu's back. After Ye Xianyu's wedding, King Hu Peak returned to peace, and the Xianyu lightning array continued to open. In the following time, Ye Changsheng practiced while honing his alchemy skills. Every morning, he would go to the fairy tree space to meditate and practice, absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and at night he would devote himself to the world of alchemy, constantly trying various alchemy recipes and alchemy techniques to improve his skills. In the 9th month, Ye Changsheng used the first level fairy dew generated in the space of the true dragon fairy tree to give birth to a red sandalwood spirit tree. The red sandalwood spirit wood is hard and exudes a faint fragrance. The tranquility incense made from it is of great benefit to practitioners. After dripping the first level fairy dew on the seeds of the red sandalwood spirit wood, the red sandalwood spirit wood grew up and matured in an instant, and finally grew into a tree more than 2 meters high. Ye Changsheng carefully felled the red sandalwood spirit wood and crushed it, and then went to the market to buy some spices as ingredients. and then made these powders into tranquility incense. This kind of incense can not only help people calm down, but also help improve concentration during cultivation. In the end, Ye Changsheng made 3,000 incense sticks. Ye Changsheng gave the incense sticks to his grandfather, uncle, aunt, and mother. 500 sticks each. This is enough for everyone to use for several years. In the 10th month, Ye Changsheng harvested the first level fairy dew again. This time he chose to promote the birth of the longevity pine. The longevity pine is a legendary divine tree in the mortal world, but only its pine seeds are useful for cultivators, which can increase the cultivation of key refining cultivators. Regardless of any attributes, drop the fairy dew on the seeds of the longevity pine, and the longevity pine will mature instantly, from a seedling to a tree more than 3 meters high. With full pine seeds on the tree. Ye Changsheng carefully collected 3 pounds of pine seeds, and then gave them to his family, half a pound each. The pine seeds of the longevity pine are not only delicious, but also have a great benefit to cultivation. After receiving them, the family members expressed their gratitude. In the 11th month, the first level fairy dew was generated again in the space of the true dragon fairy tree. This time, Ye Changsheng did not use this drop of fairy dew immediately, but kept it properly. He knew that the preciousness of the fairy dew was self-evident, especially when he might encounter more precious first level seeds later, so he had to hoard some fairy dew. Time passed quickly, and in a blink of an eye, it was already 12 months since the fairy tree space was opened. At this time, the second level fairy dew was about to be generated again. When the true dragon fairy tree space was opened for 12 months, Ye Changsheng stepped into this secret realm full of mystery and vitality again with great anticipation. His eyes passed through the lush spiritual trees and fell on the fairy terrace, where the second dragon head was quietly hanging, as if waiting for some important moment. Finally, under Ye Changsheng's nervous and excited gaze, the space under the second dragon head began to show subtle changes. The dragon head's eyes seemed to be lit up, flashing a deep and mysterious light, and the space under the dragon head began to ripple, as if something was about to break through the air. Suddenly, a purple light shot out from the dragon's mouth, accompanied by a crisp dragon roar, and the whole space trembled. The purple light condensed in the air and gradually formed a drop of round and pearly fairy dew. This drop of second level fairy dew is more dazzling than the first level fairy dew. The fairy dew slowly rotated in the air, and the spiritual energy fluctuations emitted made the surrounding space full of vitality and vigor. Ye Changsheng could feel the powerful vitality contained in this drop of fairy dew. He slowly stretched out his hand, and in an almost pious manner, caught the drop of second level fairy dew generated from under the dragon's head. He carefully put this drop of precious second level fairy dew into a special jade bottle. Ye Changsheng turned and came to the seedling of the foundation building fruit tree, looking at the green seedling with full expectations. This seedling is the lifeblood of the family's future foundation building. With it, it is not a delusion to build a purple mansion family. Ye Changsheng gently let the second level fairy dew drip on the tender roots of the foundation building fruit tree seedling. As soon as the fairy dew touched the soil, it was immediately absorbed by the roots. The seedlings emitted a faint glow and began to grow gradually. Under the magical power of the fairy dew, the growth rate of the foundation building fruit tree seedlings was far beyond the ordinary. The spiritual energy in the space was guided by the fairy dew and gathered towards the seedlings. The trunk gradually became thicker and the branches and leaves became more luxuriant. Ye Changsheng watched silently, without any additional care, because the fairy dew itself contained vitality and the power to promote growth. As time passed, the seedlings of the foundation building fruit tree grew rapidly and grew into tall trees in the blink of an eye. The buds on the tree bloomed and the fragrance was everywhere. The flowers faded and the fruits began to appear. The foundation building fruit that the cultivators dreamed of appeared on the tree. The foundation building fruit gradually matured, turning from green to red, exuding an attractive luster. When the foundation building fruit was fully mature, each foundation building fruit was as shiny as jade and as colorful as a ruby. Each fruit seemed to contain the purest spiritual energy between heaven and earth. Ye Changsheng observed carefully and found that there were a total of 24 foundation building fruits on the tree. Ye Changsheng carefully picked all the foundation building fruits and kept them in a jade box. Ye Changsheng also had his own plans for the use of the foundation building fruit. Chapter 41 3 Treasure Spiritual Liquid. 1 drop of the second level fairy dew can be produced in a year, and since I have the core of the foundation building fruit, I will never lack foundation building fruit in the future. In the past year, except for Grandpa Ye Jiuhu, no one has the need to build a foundation, and Grandpa Ye Jiuhu can only take 2 foundation building fruits. To build a foundation. I plan to keep 4 and sell the rest to the Heavenly Palace. Because I have been short of spiritual stones recently, and Grandpa Ye Jiuhu needs a few more layers of insurance to build a foundation. Ye Changsheng opened the Heavenly Palace altar, put enough low-grade spiritual stones on it, and sank into it. In an instant, he came to the Heavenly Palace again. The Heavenly Palace is still so bustling. The last time Ye Changsheng sold spiritual medicine, he remembered that there was a store specializing in selling foundation building items in the outermost ring of the Heavenly Palace. Because the Heavenly Palace is too big, Ye Changsheng searched for a long time before he found the store he saw before. Xuxianju. Entering Xuxianju and looking around, all the items used for foundation building are there. The most common style is the foundation building pill, which has more than a dozen types and is divided into 3 grades: upper, middle, and lower. The top grade foundation building pills are sold for 600 top grade spirit stones. The middle grade foundation building pills are sold for 400 top grade spirit stones. The low grade foundation building pills are sold for 200 top grade spirit stones, and the foundation building fruit is sold for 1200 top grade spirit stones. There are also various substitutes for foundation building pills. Foundation building spirit beads for 500 top grade spirit stones, rare spirit beast hearts for 400 top grade spirit stones, eggs of some second level demon birds, etc. But the most expensive here is the foundation building fruit. After all, cultivators take spiritual medicines, and spiritual fruits can finally get close to the avenue, and various pills are just substitutes for various magical spiritual medicines. When Ye Changsheng was sighing, a shopkeeper came forward. What foundation building items do you need, fellow Taoist? I need to buy some items needed for foundation building, but I want to sell some good things before. Ye Changsheng responded, oh, I don't know what good things you want to sell. Obviously, the shopkeeper was a little skeptical about the quality of the items sold by Ye Changsheng. Ye Changsheng did not answer, but took out the jade box containing the foundation building fruit. Foundation building fruit. The shopkeeper was a little surprised. This is indeed a good thing. I wonder how many you have, the shopkeeper asked. I have some, but I don't know how many high-grade spirit stones you will take. Ye Changsheng replied, Daoao, a shop as big as ours has a unified purchase price. Your foundation building fruit is full and full of spiritual light. We will buy it for 1000 high-grade spirit stones each. The shopkeeper said. 1000 high-grade spirit stones to buy, 1200 high-grade spirit stones to sell. Ye Changsheng estimated that it was about the same. He nodded and said, okay, I have 20 foundation building fruits of the same quality. Shopkeeper, take a look. After saying that, Ye Changsheng handed the jade box containing the remaining 19 foundation building fruits to the shopkeeper. Okay, it's rare that all your foundation building fruits are of top quality, so I'll buy them all for 1000 top quality spirit stones each. The shopkeeper was quite satisfied with the quality of Ye Changsheng's foundation building fruits and made the decision very happily. Deal. Ye Changsheng also responded happily, but shopkeeper, you don't have to give me spirit stones now. I still need to buy some items for cultivators to build their foundations. Ye Changsheng said, okay, take a look. Ye Changsheng turned around a few more times and had a rough idea of the items he wanted to buy. In addition to the most important foundation building pills/fruits, the most important thing for breaking through the foundation should be the second level spirit incense that helps cultivators break through the obstacles of the inner demons. Give me a San King Siang, which is the best for breaking through the inner demons. Ye Changsheng ordered. Okay, fellow Taoist, a Xinqiang for 800 top quality spirit stones. The shopkeeper responded and took out a Xinqiang and put it in the ancient long box. Give me a portion of golden marigold tea that helps the physical body break through. Ye Changsheng continued. Okay, fellow Daoist, a portion of golden calendula tea costs 600 high-grade spiritual stones. Ye Changsheng saw the shopkeeper take out a silk bag with about a dozen golden calendula tea granules in it. Golden calendula tea is a third level spiritual tea, and a portion here is really small. I want a meditation cushion for breakthrough, a wisdom body cushion. Ye Changsheng said. Okay, fellow Daoist, this is a cushion from the Western Buddhist country, made of bodhi seeds from the wisdom bodhi tree. Sitting on it during daily meditation and cultivation will make your mind clear and your wisdom doubled. It is really useful when you break through the foundation. This cushion costs 1,500 high-grade spiritual stones. The shopkeeper said. What is the best spiritual medicine for cultivators to stabilize their realm after breaking through the foundation? Ye Changsheng was dazzled by the excessive amount of elixirs in this store and wanted to buy the best one directly, so he asked directly. 3. Treasure spiritual liquid. After a cultivator breaks through the foundation, can immediately stabilize his realm and can break through to the second level of foundation without obstacles after 3 days. The shopkeeper said. Can you break through a level of cultivation without any obstacles? Ye Changsheng was a little shocked. This is a cultivation of the foundation building level, not the key refining level. Yes, although it is only suitable for cultivators who have just broken through the foundation building level, the price is not cheap. Not many people buy it. 5,000 high-grade spirit stones per copy. The shopkeeper said. Ye Changsheng thought about it. His grandfather was already over 60 years old. For him, taking this spirit liquid could save him at least 10 years. This spirit liquid is worth the price. I'll buy it. Ye Changsheng said simply. Okay, Daoist friend, buy these items for a total of 7,900 high-grade spirit stones. After the shopkeeper handed these products to Ye Changsheng, he also gave him 12,100 high-grade spiritual stones with a huge sum of money in hand. Ye Changsheng left the heavenly palace with all his belongings after his mind returned to his body. Ye Changsheng put all the items and spiritual stones on the altar into storage bags. Ye Changsheng went directly to Ye Jiuhu's tiger garden to find him. Grandpa, it's done. After that, he took out a jade box, which contained 2 foundation building fruits. Is this the foundation building fruit, the best foundation building medicine? With trembling hands, Ye Jiuhu picked up a foundation building fruit, put it under his nose and smelled it. The treasure medicine is indeed a treasure medicine. I just smelled it, and my cultivation at the peak of key refining was actually a little loose. Ye Jiuhu said excitedly. The foundation building fruit is the most suitable Tao elixir for foundation building, and it is indeed well deserved. Ye Changsheng also sighed. The so-called Taoist elixir refers to the elixir that is most suitable for a certain situation. For example, the foundation building fruit that is most suitable for foundation building is the Great Avenue elixir for foundation building. There is also Shengsen pear, which is the most suitable Tao medicine for improving cultivation during the key refining period. After all, most of the elixirs in the world of immortality are imitating various rare Taoist elixirs. However, the simulation effect is not as good as the original version after all. Grandpa, since your cultivation has reached the peak of key refining, it's better to choose a different day than to hit the sun. Why not arrange the foundation building matter now? Ye Changsheng advised. Okay, but where do you think it's more appropriate to build a foundation? Ye Jiuhu asked. There are 2 cities closest to our Yi family that have second level retreats. One is Lingyuanfang city of the Liu family, and the other is Fenglifang city of Fenglui Pavilion. Of course Lingyuanfang city is cheaper in terms of price, but Fenglifang city is safer and more reputable. Grandpa, we are not short of spiritual stones now, so it would be better to go to Fenglifang city, which is safer. Ye Changsheng said. Okay, it is indeed more reassuring to go to Fenglifang city, so let's set off for Fenglifang city. Ye Jiuhu said. Yes, Grandpa. Ye Changsheng said. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42. Ye Jiuhu builds his foundation. After telling their families, Ye Jiuhu and Ye Changsheng took a flying boat and arrived at Fenglai market in 2 days and 1 night. As soon as they entered the market, they found the largest inn in the market. Fenglai Inn opened a K4 foundation building cultivators. Fenglai Inn is owned by Fenglai Pavilion, so its reputation is more guaranteed. The place where foundation building cultivators live is relatively large. After all, they need to install protective formations, soundproof formations, etc., and they cannot be placed in a small place. However, the price is not cheap. The foundation building cave costs 50 spirit stones a day, which is 10 times the price of the key refining guest room. After the two entered the cave, they immediately opened various protective formations to the maximum. After all, these formations are supported by the spirit veins of the inn and do not cost spirit stones. However, the airflow will slow down and the overall feeling will be a little closed. The two came to Fenglai market and used the leaves of the 100 changes wood to transform their bodies. Ye Changsheng also played a white-haired old man this time, while Ye Jiuhu looked middle-aged, grandpa. Here are the other treasures I prepared for you to use in building your foundation. Ye Changsheng took out the San King Xiang, the wisdom body cushion, the golden cup tea and the 3 treasure spirit liquid. While speaking, then he told Ye Jiuhu the functions and uses of these treasures one by one. Ye Jiuhu nodded continuously as he listened. When he finally heard about the 3 treasure spirit liquid, he was shocked. 3 treasure spirit liquid. I didn't expect there is such a treasure. This heavenly palace is really a treasure land that connects countless immortal cultivation worlds. Yes, if my prediction is correct, the great treasure medicine that can improve the foundation building period by 1 level should also be found in the heavenly palace. As long as you advance to the foundation building stage and seize the solid foundation, you can plan to plant it and you can take it again in the foundation building period. Ye Changsheng calculated. You, my grandson, are very knowledgeable in calculating for me. At such a young age, I ask you to worry so much. Changsheng, it's hard for you. Ye Jiuhu said with some emotion. Grandpa, this is not for your own consideration. You are the highest in our family now. You are the big tree in our family. I am considering for you, for everyone, and for myself. Grandpa, hurry up and build your foundation. I can't do many things until you build your foundation. Ye Changsheng said with a smile. Okay, I'll go now. Ye Jiuhu laughed and continued to transform into an old man and went out. Ye Jiuhu went to the market management office and rented a 2nd level middle grade retreat room for a month. Ye Jiuhu went to the retreat room and turned all the formations to the maximum. First, he sat in meditation for 3 days to adjust his body and mind to the best state. During this period, he felt that his spirit gradually gathered and reached a peak state. While waiting, he silently recited the meditation formula in his heart to keep his mind calm. Next, Ye Jiuhu took out the wisdom body cushion and he immediately sat on the cushion, closed his eyes and concentrated, making his mind as pure as water. Then, he took out the tea making tools from the storage bag, heated them with spiritual fire, and brewed a pot of golden marigold tea, preparing to strengthen his body. First, he picked up the teacup, tasted the rich aroma, felt the tea flowing in his mouth, and suddenly felt a warm current spread throughout his body. Ye Jiuhu sat there quietly, feeling the power of the tea slowly spreading in his body. He knew that strengthening the body was the basis for breakthrough, and only a strong body could withstand high levels of energy. In the next 7 days, Ye Jiuhu moved the Zaoshan according to the operation route of the 5-element cloud rising sutra. As the breath circulated around his body, he felt that his own strength was constantly increasing, and his body gradually adapted to the higher intensity of energy flow. After 7 days, he felt that his body had reached a new peak state. At this time, He lit the 3 clear incense, letting the fragrance permeate the retreat room, and his body and mind gradually calmed down. As the fragrance spread, Ye Changsheng felt that his heart became clear and his distracting thoughts gradually dissipated. Finally, he took out a foundation building fruit, which was the key to breaking through to the foundation building realm. Ye Changsheng put the foundation building fruit into his mouth, bit the core, and a strong energy poured into his body. Driven by the power of the fruit, he began to move the Zaoshan according to the root of the 5-element cloud rising sutra, and the power of the 5 elements circulated in his body, preparing to meet the breakthrough of the foundation building. However, at this critical moment, Ye Changsheng felt a strong inner demon attack. The inner demon seemed to be the embodiment of the fear and uneasiness deep in his heart, disturbing his mind. He felt that the 5 element of power running in his body became sluggish, and the circulation of the Zaoshan was hindered. The power of the inner demon continued to erode his will, filling his heart with anxiety and fear. At this time, the 3 clear incense played a role, and the wonderful fragrance made him excited. Ye Changsheng's heart shuddered, knowing that this was the time to test his character and will. He took a deep breath, tried to stabilize his mind, silently recited the heart method, and resisted the invasion of the inner demon. He kept reminding himself that the inner demon was just his illusion, and only a firm will could defeat it. With the help of the fragrance of Xinqiang, after a fierce mental struggle, Ye Changsheng finally found inner peace. His will gradually prevailed, and the power of the inner demon gradually weakened. In the end, the inner demon completely dissipated, and his state of mind became clearer and purer as the inner demon dissipated. Ye Changsheng felt that the power of the 5 element in his body flowed smoothly again. The circulation of the body gradually stabilized, and the energy in the body reached a new height. He felt a powerful force surging from his body, like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon, and he finally successfully broke through to the foundation building realm. After breaking through to the foundation building realm, he calmed down his mind. Ye Changsheng did not come out immediately, but took out the bottle of Sanbao spiritual liquid from the storage bag. Ye Changsheng carefully opened the bottle cap, and suddenly a strong spiritual energy spread. He took a deep breath and felt the spiritual energy flowing in his body. He took a drop of Sanbao spiritual liquid every day according to the instructions, and continued to practice the foundation building period of the 5-element cloud rising sutra. 10 days later, Ye Changsheng felt that the spiritual energy in his body had been completely integrated. Not only was the foundation of the foundation more stable, but there were also signs of a breakthrough to the 2nd level of the foundation. On the 10th day, Ye Changsheng finally felt a powerful force surging from his body, and his breath instantly increased, reaching the 2nd level of the foundation. On the 11th day, at this time, he opened his eyes, his face full of joy, and sighed at the magical effect of this spiritual medicine. He stood up, stretched his muscles, and felt the strength of his body and the fullness of spiritual energy. After watching his grandfather Ye Changsheng leave, Ye Changsheng began his own practice. This is the cave of the foundation building cultivator. Although there is no 2nd level spiritual vein, the concentration of spiritual energy can reach the 1st level upper grade. Ye Changsheng certainly can't waste it. On the 10th day, Ye Changsheng sensed the violent fluctuation of spiritual energy in the 2nd level retreat room not far away. He knew that his grandfather Ye Changsheng had successfully built his foundation, the foundation building cultivator that the Ye family had been looking forward to for more than 100 years finally appeared. Ye Changsheng was very excited. He walked around in the cave excitedly. It took half a day for his mood to calm down. Chapter 43 Foundation Purchasing. He continued to practice in the cave for the next 20 days, until Ye Changsheng, who turned into a middle-aged man, knocked on the door. Congratulations to Grandpa for successfully building the foundation and taking your immortality career to a new level. Ye Changsheng looked at his middle-aged grandfather and felt a little excited. After all, he brought tangible changes to his family, and his grandfather finally built a foundation because of him. Ye Changsheng smiled and nodded slightly. Changsheng, please stop being polite to Grandpa. It's thanks to you that I can build the foundation. I can build a foundation even at my age. Are you still far away from building a foundation? Ye Changsheng said with a smile. Then, my grandson will borrow his good words from Grandpa. Ye Changsheng bowed and said, Ye Changsheng was really happy. After all, after his grandfather established the foundation, he no longer needed to be secretive when doing things. There is no need to worry about the exposure of the Shengxinli that will bring disaster to the family. After all, although the Shengxinli is good, it is not enough to take revenge on a foundation building major cultivator. Grandpa, you have just entered the foundation building. Why not buy a set of magical tools in Fenglifang City? Although the foundation building items on the Xiangang are better, my grandson is afraid that the Xiangang will be exposed, so it is better to buy them from nearby markets. Ye Changsheng said, yes, that's what I think too. It's safer this way. After the two of them finished speaking, they left the inn and went straight to Fenglui Pavilion Point. When they arrived at Fenglui Pavilion, Ye Jiuhu showed the aura of a foundation building monk and took Ye Changsheng directly to the second floor. Fellow Taoist, what do you want to buy? A shopkeeper who looked like a foundation builder came over to receive Ye Jiuhu personally. As for Ye Changsheng, a key refining cultivator was automatically ignored. Let's take a look at the second order low grade magic weapon first. Ye Jiuhu said. Jiuhu and Ye Changsheng came to Fenglui Pavilion, revealed the aura of foundation building monks, and took Ye Changsheng directly to the second floor. Fellow Taoist, what do you want to buy? A shopkeeper who looked like a foundation building monk came over and received Ye Jiuhu personally. As for Ye Changsheng, a key refining cultivator was automatically ignored. Let's take a look at the second order low grade magic weapon first. Ye Jiuhu said. The shopkeeper immediately led Ye Jiuhu to the display area, where various exquisite magical instruments were placed. He skillfully picked up 5 second level low grade flying sword instruments and introduced them respectively. The red flame sword is made of red flame iron as its main material, supplemented by flame stones. It has a red flame formation embedded inside, which can spray flames and increase fire attribute attack power. This sword sells for 1100 spirit stones. The main material of the black ice sword is black ice iron, supplemented by ice soul crystal. Embedded with a Zuan ice formation, it can release ice and slow down the enemy. This sword sells for 1100 spirit stones. The purple electric sword is made of purple thunder copper as the main material, supplemented by lightning wood. There is a purple electric array embedded inside, which can emit lightning and paralyze the enemy. This sword sells for 1200 spirit stones. The main material of the wind shadow sword is wind shadow silver, supplemented by swift wind grass. The wind shadow array is embedded inside to increase the speed of the sword, making it as fast as the wind. This sword sells for 1150 spiritual stones. The earth spirit sword is made of thick earth gold as its main material, supplemented by earth spirit beads. This sword is embedded with an earth spirit formation to increase its defensive power and make the sword tough. This sword sells for 1050 spiritual stones. Then, the shopkeeper brought over 5 more defensive instruments, including shields and robes. This is a black turtle shield. The main material is second order black jade tortoise shell, supplemented by second order spiritual chalcedony. A black turtle defense array is embedded in the array to enhance defense and rebound some attacks. This treasure sells for 1500 spirit stones. The golden bell shield is made of golden bell copper as the main material, supplemented by spiritual stone. The golden bell defense array is embedded inside to form a shield and reduce the consumption of spiritual power. This treasure sells for 1600 spirit stones. The ice crystal shield is made of ice crystal jade as the main material, supplemented by ice marrow. It has an ice crystal defense array embedded inside, which can freeze enemies in contact. This treasure sells for 1550 spiritual stones. Celestial silkworm robe. The main material is celestial silkworm silk, supplemented by cloud brocade yarn. Formation, built-in celestial silkworm defense formation to increase mana protection and slow down attack effects. This treasure sells for 1700 spirit stones. The main material of Xixia robe is Xixia silk, supplemented by dragon scale thread. The Xixia defense array is embedded inside to enhance spiritual protection and resist magic attacks. This treasure sells for 1650 spiritual stones. Ye Jiuhu carefully looked at each magical weapon, feeling the aura and power emanating from them. Ye Changsheng asked Ye Jiuhu how he felt about each magical weapon. In the end, Ye Changsheng came forward to buy it. Senior, we need the purple electric sword and the wind shadow sword. We need the defensive magic weapon, the golden bell shield and the heavenly silkworm robe. Please bring out a sample of the second order mid-grade flying boat for us to select. Ye Changsheng said. He looked at Ye Jiuhu and found that he had no objection. The Foundation establishment shopkeeper was surprised. He did not expect that a key refining monk had the final say in what the Foundation establishment monks bought. Okay, little friend, according to the rules, there are also 5 second order middle grade flying boats here. The shopkeeper nodded and led them to another display area where 5 flying boats were displayed. He introduced them one by one. The blast boat is made of light cloud wood as its main material, supplemented by blast feathers. A blast array embedded inside makes the airship extremely fast, with a maximum speed of 5,000 miles per hour, able to withstand attacks in the early stages of foundation building. This boat sells for 3,500 spirit stones. The black iron boat is made of black iron wood as its main material, and supplemented by black iron ore. The interior is inlaid with the black iron formation to enhance the defense and stability of the flying boat. It can withstand attacks from the middle stage of foundation building. This boat is priced at 3,700 spirit stones. The Lingguang boat is made of Lingguang wood as the main material, supplemented by Lingguang crystal. The interior is inlaid with the Lingguang formation to increase the speed and flexibility of the flying boat. It can withstand attacks from the early stage of foundation building. This boat is priced at 3,600 spirit stones. The flame boat is made of red flame wood as the main material, supplemented by flame stone. The interior is inlaid with the flame formation, which can spray flames to attack the enemy. It can withstand attacks from the early stage of foundation building. This boat is priced at 3,550 spirit stones. The Ziksha boat is made of purple wood as the main material, supplemented by purple silk. The interior is inlaid with the Ziksha Zuanling formation to increase the defense and concealment of the flying boat. This boat can withstand attacks from the middle stage of foundation building. This boat is priced at 3,750 spirit stones. Ye Jiuhu and Ye Changsheng carefully examined each flying boat, feeling their aura and power. The shopkeeper patiently introduced the advantages and disadvantages of each flying boat and the applicable occasions. In the end, they chose the black iron boat. My 2 Taoist friends are kind enough to give you 9,350 spirit stones. I will remove the decimals for you, so 9,300 spirit stones will be enough. The shopkeeper said. Ye Changsheng did not bargain and directly took out 100 high-grade spirit stones. The shopkeeper returned 700 spirit stones to Ye Changsheng. After all the transactions were completed, Ye Jiuhu took Ye Changsheng away from Fenglui Pavilion. The two drove the black iron boat back to the Ye family at lightning speed. When they returned to the Ye family, the whole Ye family was quiet. What they didn't know was that the Ye family would be different from then on. Ye Changsheng followed Ye Jiuhu directly to the tiger garden. Then Ye Changsheng sent out several text messages. Soon everyone in the family gathered in the living room of the tiger garden. Everyone, I have great news to tell you. Grandpa has successfully built his foundation. Chapter 44, Advanced Bloodline. What? Dad broke through the foundation building. Ye Xianayu said in shock. Looking at everyone's looks of shock and surprise. Ye Jiuhu smiled and said, yes, I'm now a foundation building monk. After saying that, the energy belonging to the foundation building expert was completely exposed, and a compelling aura rushed towards everyone. Congratulations to my father for your achievement in building the foundation, and your great path will be further advanced. Ye Xiana interacted first and congratulated. Congratulations to my father on his achievement in building the foundation and taking the road further. Cui Linglang and Liu Kan are also quickly congratulated. Hahaha. Okay. Ye Jiuhu was also extremely happy. From now on, our family will be the GZHU family, and I will also be the young master of the GZHU family. From now on, my identity will be different. Ye Xian Yu touched his head and said to his wife Liu Kana in surprise. His naive look made Liu Kana roll her eyes angrily and everyone laughed. Uncle is right. From now on, our identities will be different. At least we are all direct relatives of the great monks of the Foundation establishment. Ye Changsheng echoed. Yes, our family's status within the clan has also changed. From now on, we will be the direct descendants of the Ye family. Ye Xianyan reminded. Xianyan is right. After I advance to Foundation establishment, our direct and collateral branches of the Ye family should have a new division. Ye Jiuhu stroked his black beard and said lightly. Ye Jiuhu has now returned to his middle-aged appearance, but with a cultivation level of over 60 years old and a second level foundation builder. He is equivalent to a middle-aged person everywhere. After all, once you enter the foundation building, your lifespan will be increased by 200 years, and the days to come will still be long, Grandpa. Should I inform the Supreme Elder and the clan leader to come over now? Ye Changsheng asked Ye Jiuhu for instructions, but, after all, I showed my momentum just now, and they were already alerted. Ye Jiuhu said calmly. When you reach the level of foundation building, many things become calm and relaxed. Ye Changsheng received permission and immediately sent a messenger to the Supreme Elder Ye Dongren and the clan leader Ye Jialan. After a while, two people walked in together. Jiuhu, have you advanced? Ye Dongren, who had white hair, looked at Ye Jiuhu, who looked middle-aged, and said in surprise, yes, I have just been promoted to foundation building from Fenglifang City. Ye Jiuhu said calmly. After saying that, he unleashed the aura that only a great foundation building monk could have. Sure enough, I knew you would have a great opportunity in the next 6 months. God bless my Ye family. God bless the Ye family. Ye Dongren burst into tears with excitement. Ye Dongren, the Supreme Elder, has worked hard for the Ye family. Otherwise, with his qualifications of dual spiritual roots, he would definitely be the one to establish a foundation in the big forces. But although the clan leader Ye Jialan was also surprised, he did not lose his temper. Congratulations to Supreme Master Jiuhu for successfully building the foundation and taking a further step forward. Ye Jialan congratulated. I came to you two today to discuss the future affairs of the Ye family. Ye Jiuhu said calmly. After speaking, Ye Jiuhu asked the two people to sit down and began to discuss the future clan rules. Ye Changsheng and others retreated. Half a day later, the Ye family held an elders meeting in Kinghu Peak Tiger Garden. The other 8 elders of the Ye family were all present. They are Second Elder, Ye Jiahang 3rd Elder, Ye Jiubeo 4th Elder, Ye Jiuang 5th Elder, Ye Jiashan 6th Elder, Ye Jiuhua 7th Elder, Ye Jialan 8th Elder, Ye Jiuli 9th Elder, Ye Jiafeng. Among them, the 2nd Elder Ye Jiahang and the 8th Elder Ye Jiuli are female elders, and have neither married outside nor recruited a son-in-law. There are not a few single women in the Immortal Cultivation family, and Ye Xianyan is also in this category. After all, cultivating immortality is the more important pursuit, and finding a Taoist companion to reproduce is only a secondary option. I want to tell you some good news. The Supreme Lord Jiuhu has received a great opportunity. He has successfully established the foundation recently. The family's dream of more than 100 years has been realized. Now, our Ye family has become a foundation building family. Ye Jialang said excitedly. All the elders were very excited when they heard the news. Congratulations to Supreme Master Jiuhu for establishing the foundation and taking the road to immortality one step further. Everyone stood up and congratulated in unison. Since our Ye family is already a foundation building family, the previous rules must be changed. Ye Jialang continued. In the past, because everyone was a monk in the late stage of key refining, even though we had to seek the opinions of the two Supreme Elders when encountering major issues, it was inevitable that there would be some shortcomings. It's okay now. Supreme Master Jiuhu is already a great monk of foundation building. His vision and decision making ability are much better than everyone else. From now on, major issues in the Ye family will be decided by Supreme Master Jiuhu. Do you have any objections? Ye Jialang looked around and asked seriously. I have no objection. Everyone stood up again, and replied in unison. Ye Jialang glanced at Li Jiu, who at this time bowed and retreated. Okay, then I'll say a few words. Ye Jiu, who stood up first. According to the general rules of the Foundation Establishment family, the descendants of the Foundation Establishment monks are the direct descendants of the family. Our Ye family will also follow this in the future. Second, according to the general rules of the Foundation Building family, the Foundation Building monks are the supreme elders, and in the later stages of Foundation Building, they are all ordinary elders. Third, my cave will still be at King Hu Peak from now on. Ye Jiu, who always said 9 things, no one had any objections. After the meeting, everyone dispersed. Ye Changsheng returned to Tiger Garden. There are also Ye Jiu and Ye Jialang in the living room. Clan leader, my ability to build a base so quickly is all thanks to my good grandson. Now let's discuss the formation of the clan protection together. Ye Jiu, who said Ye Changsheng had mentioned this to him before, but after all, the clan protection formation was a matter for the entire clan, and it still needed the clan leader Ye Jialang to implement it. Changsheng has met the clan leader. Ye Changsheng bowed. Seeing Ye Changsheng, who was full of aura, Ye Jialang sighed. The younger generation is terrible. The patriarch is too generous. Ye Changsheng replied without arrogance or impatience. Seeing this, Ye Jiu, who nodded with satisfaction. Changsheng, what do you think about the clan protection formation? Ye Jiu, who said, Grandpa, clan leader, I think that, since Grandpa entered the foundation building stage, it is urgent to upgrade the Ye family's clan protection formation to the 2nd level. After all, when it comes to the level of foundation building, whether it is taking on the responsibilities of the immortal world or making enemies, it is the level of foundation building. If the clan protection formation is still at the 1st level, ordinary clansmen may be in some danger, even if we are not at risk. Grandpa, since you established the foundation so quickly, is it true that no other family wants to come to King's Hu Peak to find out? So, this matter cannot be delayed. Ye Jiu and Ye Jialang both nodded after hearing this. Changsheng, you are right, but a key problem now is that there are not many spiritual stones in the family treasure house. If I count, there are only 70,000 to 80,000 spirit stones in the warehouse now. There are still 100,000 spirit stones in the family secret treasury, but those cannot be used by the Ye family until the moment of life and death. Ye Jialang said a little worriedly. Chapter 45, Clan Protection Formation. I may save a little in the future. After all, the 9 major branches of the main line are no longer direct descendants, so the salary will be much less. Ye Jialang continued. Ye Changsheng and Ye Jiu, who looked at each other. Ye Jiu, who waved his hand. The treatment of the original 9 direct branches will remain unchanged. From now on, they will be called the 9 main branches. Direct vein, main vein, side vein, follow this order from now on. Okay. I would like to thank the Supreme Elder on behalf of the hundreds of people in the main clan. Ye Jialang said a little happily. Haha, we are all one family. I'm promoted to Foundation Establishment. If I don't have the favor, how can I reduce the salary of my clan members? Ye Jiu, who said, regarding the purchase of the clan protection formation, our direct descendants can contribute some spiritual stones, but we need you, the clan leader, to exchange them for family contribution points. Ye Changsheng said. Ye Jiu, who also nodded. Okay. I wonder how many spiritual stones the direct lineage can produce. Ye Jialang asked expectantly. Alas, it seems that this time we will not be able to survive without blood. 2,000 high-grade spiritual stones came out of the direct vein. Ye Changsheng said with a look of regret. Unlike Ye Changsheng, who has access to the Celestial Palace, the clan protection formation in Longnan's immortal realm is relatively expensive. Normally it would be around 200,000 spirit stones, but at auction it would be 2.78 million spirit stones. After Ye Changsheng finished speaking, he took out the 2,000 high-grade spiritual stones that he had prepared. Okay. Since it is a high-grade spiritual stone, I will give the direct lineage 220,000 contribution points. Ye Zhelang said with great joy. High grade spiritual stones are rare, and the exchange rate in the Longnan immortal world is usually 1 to 110. Okay, then Zhelang and I will visit the surrounding markets in the near future and buy the clan protection array. As for the spiritual pulse, it won't be too late to improve it after the clan's finances have calmed down in a few years. The clan protecting formation that I bought soon will only cost more spiritual stones to support. Ye Jiuhu said, indeed, Ye Zhelang nodded. After some time, Ye Jiuhu and Ye Zhelang visited the surrounding major foundation building and Zifu families to ask for clues about the second level clan protection formation. In name, he wanted to purchase a family protection formation, but in fact, he was officially informing the outside world that the Ye family had now become a foundation building family. Then at the Fenglui Pavilion auction that was held not long ago, he spent 240,000 spirit stones to purchase a second level low grade clan protecting array, the 7-star flame array. Later, a second level array mage was hired at a high price to install and debug the 7-star flame array. Waiting for the moment when the second level formation was installed. The whole family celebrated, which also marked that the Ye family had officially become a second level foundation building force. After the celebration, the Ye family returned to peace. Ye Changsheng was called to Tiger Garden by Ye Jiuhu again to discuss clan affairs. Ye Zhelang gave me the bottom line today. The family's current assets include 1,200 acres of first grade low grade spiritual land, 400 acres of first grade medium grade spiritual land, 80 acres of first grade high grade spiritual land, and annual spiritual stones. 10,000 pieces, a first level low grade spiritual mine with an annual output of 5,000 low grade spiritual stones. There are 11 first level medium grade Qinghai bamboo gardens, with a total of more than 10,000 bamboos, and an annual income of 60,000 spiritual stones. This is the family's largest asset. The rest are fragments of spiritual medicine gardens and spiritual beast farms. Fangshi shops, etc. produce more than 10,000 spiritual stones every year. Ye Jiuhu said to Ye Changsheng, the clan earns 80,000 to 90,000 spirit stones every year. What about the expenses? Ye Changsheng asked. The salary of the clan members is more than 40,000 spiritual stones a year, and the purchase of elixirs is more than 20,000 spiritual stones. In addition to miscellaneous expenses, the salary is more than 10,000 spiritual stones. The annual expenditure is 70,000 spiritual stones. Ye Jiuhu said. Then, it looks like this family is really not easy to run. Your salary has been increased this year, and our family's salary has also been increased. In addition, coupled with the daily consumption of spiritual stones by the clan protection formation, there may not be any spiritual stones left this year. Ye Changsheng said, I have the final say in the family now. It is both a right and a responsibility. Changsheng, can you see if there is any additional investment in our Ye family's industry? Ye Jiuhu asked. Of course I have a lot of ideas, but due to the current state of the Ye family, there are so many ideas that I can't put them into practice for the time being. If we want to increase our family's income, we have to wait a few years. We can't rush this matter right away. Ye Changsheng said. Well, there's really no rush. Ye Jiuhu said. Grandpa, I think the most important thing right now is to improve King Hu Peak's spiritual veins. Of course, there are also your secret cards. Grandpa, I'm going to buy these in the Heavenly Palace. Ye Changsheng said. Okay, then it's all thanks to you for longevity. Ye Jiuhu said. After bidding farewell to Ye Jiuhu, Ye Changsheng returned to his eternal life garden. Arriving at the retreat room, his figure flashed to the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree. The space is filled with a concentration of spiritual energy equivalent to a first order high grade spiritual vein. Ye Changsheng plans to break through the 7th level of key refining here. He has been staying at the 6th level of key refining for several months, and today he is finally about to break through. Ye Changsheng sat down cross-legged and took the panacea given to him by his grandfather Ye Jiuhu. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and completely immersed his consciousness in the spiritual sea within his body. The panacea gradually melted in his body and turned into infinite spiritual power, pouring into his meridians. This spiritual power was gentle but full of explosive power, as if a dragon was swimming through his body. He carefully guided these spiritual powers and gradually gathered them into his Danshan point. As the spiritual power gathered, Ye Changsheng felt waves of heat coming from his Danshan, as if a ball of flame was burning. He knew this was a sign of a breakthrough, so he focused more on controlling the flow of his spiritual power. His breathing gradually became steady and powerful, and with every breath, he absorbed the surrounding spiritual energy into his body and used it for his own benefit. Suddenly, he felt that the spiritual power in his Danshan had reached a limit, as if it was about to break through some kind of restraint. He was startled and immediately operated the technique, gathering all the spiritual power together and fiercely rushed towards the barrier. Boom! A muffled sound exploded in his body and the barrier broke with a sound. In an instant, a powerful spiritual power gushed out from his Danshan and quickly spread to his limbs. His whole body shook, as if he was struck by lightning, and the spiritual power in his body quickly grew, and an unprecedented sense of power filled his body. Ye Changsheng suddenly opened his eyes, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. He exhaled a long breath of turbid air, felt the surging spiritual power in his body, and knew that he had successfully broken through to the 7th level of key refining. He stood up, stretched his muscles and bones, and felt that his body was lighter and stronger than before. After the breakthrough, the body seemed to have been reforged, and every inch of muscle was full of strength. Finally, broke through. Ye Changsheng smiled slightly. He had a lot of things to buy in the heavenly palace this time, and now there were only 10,000 high-grade spirit stones left in his storage bag. So he had to continue to promote the birth of valuable first-level spirit fruit trees. The most valuable first-level spirit fruit tree in Ye Changsheng's hands was of course the longevity peach. Chapter 46, Spiritual Ascension Formation. Now Ye Changsheng has accumulated a total of 3 drops of first order fairy dew, which were generated in the 11th month of the first year after the creation of the space, the 12th month, and the first month of the second year. Ye Changsheng took out 3 life-extending flat peach cores, and dropped a drop of first order fairy dew into each. In an instant, 3 lush flat peach trees appeared in front of Ye Changsheng. And each tree is filled with 18 ripe peaches. Ye Changsheng took out a special jade box and picked 54 flat peaches one by one and put them into a storage bag. Then Ye Changsheng's body flashed back to the real space. I took a shower, washed myself, and put on fresh clothes, entering the deepest part of the secret room. At the Xiangang altar, Ye Changsheng activated the Xiangang order. His mind was immersed, and his spiritual thoughts came to Xiangang again. I came to the date shop, where flat peaches were sold last time, and found the shopkeeper from last time. After all, it's easy to get things done with acquaintances. Shopkeeper, my longevity flat peaches have matured a few more, and I want to sell them in exchange for some spiritual stones. Ye Changsheng said, okay, I haven't seen you for a long time, and I miss you so much. How many pills do you want to sell this time? The shopkeeper said happily when he saw Ye Changsheng. Here, that's it. 54 in total. Ye Changsheng took out the jade box containing the life-extending flat peach and handed it to him. Okay, then we'll stick to the price last time for each 80 grade high-grade spiritual stone. 54 life-extending flat peaches will give you 4,320 spiritual stones. You take good care of my business, and I'll make up for the change. I'll give you a total of 4,400 high-grade spiritual stones. What do you think? The shopkeeper said with a smile. I have to say that this shopkeeper is really good at business. No problem. Just because you are so kind to the shopkeeper, I will come to you to sell any rare spiritual fruits I have in the future. Ye Changsheng said happily, while taking the spirit stone. Coming out of Dade Poo, Ye Changsheng was in a good mood. He began to continue walking around the outermost ring of the heavenly palace, looking for shops selling spirit ascension formations. When purchasing a spirit ascension formation, you not only need to buy the formation, but also the accompanying spirit ascension beads that contain the essence of spiritual veins. The ascending spirit beads are all extracted from other spiritual veins by array masters using secret methods in order to enhance the level of the spiritual veins in other places. In the bustling market of Xiangang, Ye Changsheng was like a treasure hunter, walking among the bustling crowds, his eyes wandering from shop To shop point there are a dazzling array of shops on both sides of the street, with various cultivation resources and treasures that make people dizzy, and the enthusiastic shouts of vendors can be heard from time to time point after some careful comparison and inspection. Ye Changsheng finally stopped in front of the Lingshubaos and Pavilion point. The store's facade is simple and elegant, and the spiritual patterns on the plaque look very mysterious. The store is neatly arranged, with various formation models and spiritual weapons neatly placed on the shelves, each one exuding a faint aura. Ye Changsheng walked into the store, and was greeted by a middle-aged shopkeeper who looked quite cultivated. The shopkeeper smiled and immediately came forward to greet me warmly. "Fellow Taoist, welcome to Lingshubaos and Pavilion. What do you need?" the shopkeeper asked. Ye Changsheng directly stated his purpose of coming. "I need a set of second level low grade spirit ascension formations and the corresponding spirit ascension beads." The shopkeeper nodded slightly. He led Ye Changsheng to a corner of the store, where models and instructions for several spirit ascension formations were displayed. Each formation model is extremely delicate, exuding rich spiritual energy fluctuations, as if they are trembling slightly with life. "Fellow Taoist, please take a look. These three are our exquisite second level low grade spirit ascension formations." The shopkeeper pointed to the three formation models and introduced them one by one. This Lingyang Golden Spring formation is characterized by its ability to continuously extract spiritual power from the earth's veins and is suitable for long-term deployment. He pointed to another formation. This is the Star Spirit Gathering formation. It can use the power of stars to accelerate the gathering of spiritual power at night. It is especially suitable for monks who practice at night. The last array model is more exquisite. The shopkeeper introduced. This Dragon Vein Awakening array uses the method of simulating dragon veins to enhance spiritual power. The effect is significant, but the duration is shorter and more complicated. Suitable for situations where a large amount of spiritual power is urgently needed in a short period of time. Ye Changsheng listened carefully to the shopkeeper's introduction, and at the same time, used his spiritual consciousness to explore the structure and spiritual flow of each formation. After careful consideration, he finally chose the Lingyang Golden Spring formation, because its continuity and stability were more in line with the needs of the Ye family. Say, friendly eyes. The shopkeeper praised. Seeing that Ye Changsheng made the choice so quickly, the shopkeeper smiled even more. This Lingyang Golden Spring formation is indeed very suitable for long-term arrangement and has a very good effect on improving the quality of the spiritual field. Then, Ye Changsheng selected 8 more spiritual beads. These beads contain rich spiritual energy essence inside, which can greatly increase the concentration of spiritual energy in the spiritual field with the assistance of formations. Each spirit ascension pearl shimmers with soft light and contains majestic spiritual power. In the end, under the skillful operation of the shopkeeper, Ye Changsheng purchased the Lingyang Golden Spring formation with 1,000 high-grade spiritual stones and paid 500 high-grade spiritual stones for each spiritual pearl, for a total of 5,000 high-grade spiritual stones. After the transaction was completed, Ye Changsheng carefully put the formation and ascending spirit beads into the storage bag. With a satisfied smile on his face, he moved out of the Lingshu Treasure Formation Pavilion. Then Ye Changsheng came to the elixir area. Ye Jiu, who didn't have the elixirs for the early stage of foundation building yet, so he wanted to purchase them from Xiangang. Ye Changsheng came to a second level elixir shop with a simple and elegant appearance. The 3 characters Lingdan Pavilion are engraved on the store's plaque, which is shining with golden light and looks particularly eye-catching. As soon as you enter the store, a strong medicinal fragrance hits your nostrils, refreshing you. The shelves in the shop are filled with all kinds of elixirs, and each bottle exudes a faint aura, making it appear mysterious and precious. The shopkeeper was an old man with a kind face and kind eyes. When he saw Ye Changsheng coming in, he came forward to greet him warmly. "Fellow Taoist, welcome to Lingdan Pavilion. I have a variety of elixirs here, all of which are suitable for monks in the foundation building stage to increase their cultivation." The shopkeeper introduced with a smile. Ye Changsheng nodded. His eyes swept across the shelves and finally stopped at the 3 elixirs in the early stage of foundation building. "Please introduce these 3 elixirs to me in detail." The shopkeeper pointed to the first elixir and said, "This is the strengthening pill. After being taken by monks in the early stage of foundation building, it can stabilize the monk's foundation and improve his cultivation. The price is 20 high-grade spiritual stones per bottle." He pointed to the second type of elixir. "This is the purple gold pill. After being taken by monks in the early stages of foundation building, it can improve the monk's cultivation. The effect is relatively good. The price is 25 high-grade spiritual stones per bottle." Finally, the shopkeeper took out the third pill, and this is the 9 yang pill. It can not only increase your cultivation, but also warm the yang and replenish the qi. It is the best among the 3 pills. The price is 30 a bottle of top quality spiritual stone. Chapter 47 Spiritual Beast. Ye Changsheng thought for a moment and decided to buy the best 9 yang pill. He said, "I want to buy 3 bottles of 9 yang pill." The shopkeeper showed a happy smile on his face. "Good choice. Fellow Daoist really has good vision." He quickly prepared 3 bottles of 9 yang pill for Ye Changsheng and carefully packed them. Ye Changsheng asked again, "Shopkeeper, I also need some healing pills suitable for the early stage of foundation building. Do you have any recommendations?" The shopkeeper immediately responded, yes, this is our store's second level healing pill, recovery pill, which has miraculous effects on treating internal and external injuries. The price is 30 top grade spirit stones per bottle." "Then, I will also take a bottle of recovery pill." Ye Changsheng said without hesitation. The transaction was completed quickly, and Ye Changsheng paid a total of 120 top grade spirit stones. Ye Changsheng collected the pills with satisfaction, thanked the shopkeeper, and moved out of the spirit pill pavilion. Finally, Ye Changsheng came to a shop selling second level spirit talismans and second level magic tools for the safety of grandpa. Yejiuhu. A large number of talismans were purchased. 3 second level top grade sharp gold storm talismans, each costing 20 top grade spiritual stones. 3 second level top grade woodvine winding talismans, each costing 25 top grade spiritual stones. 3 second level top grade wood spirit healing talismans, each costing 30 top grade spiritual stones. 3 second level top grade rock shield talismans, each costing 25 top grade spiritual stones. 3 second level top grade Shianai wind escape talismans, each costing 30 top grade spiritual stones. 3 third level heavenly thunder seeds were purchased, each of which can exert the maximum attack of a purple mansion early cultivator once, costing 200 top grade spiritual stones each. A total of 990 top grade spiritual stones were spent here. Finally, Ye Changsheng came to the second ring of the heavenly palace. He wanted to purchase spirit beasts, because demon beasts are things that accompany cultivators throughout their lives, so if you want to buy them, you must try to buy the best. Only the second floor, where the purple mansion ancestors sell, can have second level fine products. When Ye Changsheng stepped into the second ring of the heavenly palace, he seemed to have entered a whole new world. Here, the magnificent buildings towered into the clouds, and the spiritual energy was so rich that it could almost condense into drops. Looking around, he found himself surrounded by many purple mansion ancestors. These usually unattainable beings were now bustling between the shops, which made Ye Changsheng feel Lord. With a desire for spiritual beasts, Ye Changsheng walked towards the largest spiritual beast pavilion in the second ring, the True Dragon Pavilion. Here, a purple mansion ancestor was in charge in person. His eyes were deep, as if he could see through everything in the world, and people dared not look directly at him. "Dao, welcome to the True Dragon Pavilion." The voice of the purple mansion ancestor was gentle and full of majesty, which made people respectful. Ye Changsheng took a deep breath, calmed down his mood, and then said respectfully, "Senior, I want to buy a mature second level top grade monster beast." The purple mansion ancestor nodded slightly, then waved his hand, and 6 phantoms of monster beasts of different shapes appeared in front of Ye Changsheng. Each of them exudes a powerful aura, each with its own merits. First is the iron armored bull, which is covered with indestructible scales, and has infinite strength. It can break mountains and split rocks, but its speed is slightly insufficient, as the shopkeeper introduced it. A giant bull phantom covered with shiny black scales roared. The second is the shadow moon spirit cat, which is agile and moves like the wind. It sneaks silently in the night and is a master of assassination and reconnaissance. An elegant figure gently leaped in the air, and its silver shining hair was like moonlight. Then there is the ice mysterious snake, which breathes cold air and can freeze thousands of miles. It is a leader in water magic. A giant snake with a snow white body and frost on its scales hovered in the air, and the temperature around it seemed to drop a few degrees. This is the Flame Lion King, which controls the spiritual power of the fire system. With a roar, it can cause a mountain fire to erupt. It is the best partner for fire cultivators. The majestic phantom of the Lion King. Its mane is like a burning flame, and it is extremely majestic. Next is the wind flying cloud eagle. It spreads its wings and flies high. It is extremely fast. It can shuttle through the clouds and catch prey invisibly. A huge eagle spreads its wings and is about to fly. Its feathers are as unpredictable as flowing clouds. Finally, it is a green windpeng. It has the blood of the golden winged dapeng. It has both speed and strength, and it is the overlord of the sky. The phantom of the green windpeng soars in the sky, and every flap of its wings brings the sound of wind and thunder. Looking at these powerful second level superior spirit beasts, Ye Changsheng swallowed nervously. Ye Changsheng observed carefully, and finally his eyes stayed on the green windpeng. This is it, the green windpeng. Ye Changsheng said firmly. After all, in the world of immortal cultivation, flying monsters are the king. The purple mansion patriarch smiled slightly, obviously satisfied with Ye Changsheng's choice. My friend, you have good taste. This King Feng Peng is our fine product, but the price is not cheap. It's 5,000 high-grade spirit stones. Ye Changsheng gave him 5,000 high-grade spirit stones with great care. The purple mansion patriarch nodded with satisfaction. Ye Changsheng also bought 10 bottles of second-grade high-grade spirit beast pills worth 100 high-grade spirit stones for King Feng Peng's future cultivation. Senior, I also want to buy a powerful monster egg for myself. What can you recommend? The purple mansion patriarch nodded and waved his hand again. 6 monster eggs emitting different lights appeared in front of Ye Changsheng. This is the egg of the blue-eyed golden crystal beast. When it opens its eyes, it can release a strong mental shock. It is the nemesis of spiritual power cultivators. An egg shining with golden light, with strange patterns on the surface. The eggs of the Nether Wolf King can summon the power of the Netherworld when it grows up, and are an excellent choice for nighttime combat. The eggs of the Wolf King are a deep black, as if they can swallow the light around them. The eggs of the glass fire phoenix can control flames after hatching, and its wings are as bright as glass. The eggs of the fire phoenix emit a warm red light, beautiful and mysterious. The eggs of the mysterious ice turtle have extremely strong defensive capabilities, and the tortoise shell on its back can resist powerful attacks. The turtle eggs are as solid as a rock, and the surface is covered with frost. The eggs of the thunder hawk are extremely fast, can release lightning in the air, and are good at chasing enemies. The eggs of the hawk have lightning textures, and are full of power. Finally, the eggs of the three-legged fire crow have a trace of the blood of the true spirit three-legged golden crow, and have the strength of the initial stage of foundation building when they are born. Although the eggs of the fire crow are inconspicuous in appearance, they are shining with spiritual light and contain amazing firepower. After some thought, Ye Changsheng took a fancy to the eggs of the three-legged fire crow. Although the fire crow's appearance is not very beautiful, its bloodline is the most noble. After all, it has the bloodline of the true spirit, so the price is not cheap. 3,000 high-grade spirit stones. And its parents are 4th level fire crows, and it has the strength of the initial stage of foundation building when it is born. The purple mansion patriarch explained. Ye Changsheng did not hesitate, and spent 3,000 high-grade spirit stones to buy it. Although crows have a bad image in people's minds, Ye Changsheng pays more attention to strength rather than appearance. In the end, Ye Changsheng left the True Dragon Pavilion with satisfaction, taking the newly purchased King Feng Peng and the eggs of the three-legged fire crow, as well as the spirit beast pills prepared for them. Chapter 48 Spiritual Vein Advancement. Ye Changsheng's consciousness turned to his physical body and walked down from the altar of the Heavenly Palace. This trip to the Heavenly Palace was very expensive, and there were only 290 high-grade spiritual stones left in the storage bag. But the rewards are also huge. Ye Changsheng found his grandfather Ye Jiuhu with the harvest from Xiangang. Grandpa, I bought a lot of good things for you from Xiangang. With that said, he handed Grandpa Ye Jiuhu a storage bag. Even though Ye Jiuhu was already prepared for this grandson's arrogance, he still took a breath after seeing the supplies in the storage bag. There are 5 kinds of 15-second level high-grade spiritual talismans of various kinds. There are also 3 Xianlizi that have reached the 3rd level of primary power. 3 bottles of Jiuyangdan, the elixir for increasing cultivation in the early stage of foundation building. A bottle of the healing elixir rejuvenation pill in the early stage of foundation building. A bottle of spirit beast elixir suitable for use by 2nd level high-grade monsters. In this monster bag are the 2nd level high-grade monster King Feng Peng and the control jade talisman. Saying that, Ye Changsheng handed Ye Jiuhu another monster bag. These must have cost you a lot of spiritual stones. Ye Jiuhu said, a little distressed. No more. No more. For your safety, Grandpa, no more at all. It's just that the 2nd level high-grade King Feng Peng is a bit more expensive. The shopkeeper guaranteed that it has the bloodline of the true spiritual golden winged rock, and it cost 5,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Ye Changsheng said with a smile. Actually, I just use the newly bought black iron boat when I go out. There is no need to buy such an expensive one to transport monsters. Ye Jiuhu still felt a little distressed about the spiritual stones. After all, it would cost more than $500,000 to exchange King Feng Peng's 5,000 high-grade spiritual stones for low-grade spiritual stones. This was a huge amount of money that he had never spent before. Grandpa, the flying speed of this King Feng Peng is more than 3 times that of Zuantizhao. Even the ordinary ancestors of Zifu cannot catch up with you. Besides, this 2nd level high-grade King Feng Peng's combat power is terrifying. It can easily deal with 2 or 3 monks in the late stage of foundation building. This adds another layer of security to your safety. Moreover, as long as we are willing to invest in this King Feng Peng, it will be almost ready by the time you advance to the Zifu, and it will be even more perfect by then. Well, it's really good. Ye Jiuhu said. Although he said he was expensive, his love for King Feng Peng could not be hidden in his eyes. Grandpa, now you should sacrifice your blood to King Feng Peng's control jade talisman. It has been in the store for too long, and its spirit is a little depressed. Ye Changsheng said with a smile. Good. Ye Jiuhu nodded. He knew that the process of blood sacrifice was crucial to the control of the spirit beast. It not only deepened the connection with the spirit beast, but also made the spirit beast more loyal to its master. Ye Jiuhu took out a crystal clear jade talisman from the monster bag. He bit his fingertip and dropped a drop of blood on the jade talisman. The blood essence was quickly absorbed by the jade talisman, emitting a faint red light. With the injection of Ye Jiuhu's spiritual power, the red light on the jade talisman became more and more intense, eventually forming a complex blood-colored magic circle. The magic circle slowly rose and floated towards the forehead of King Feng Peng, who was in the monster bag. King Feng Peng seemed to understand what was about to happen. It closed its eyes and allowed the magic circle to be imprinted on its forehead. A ray of light flashed, and there was a bloody mark on King Feng Peng's forehead that was the same as the jade talisman. The blood sacrifice is completed, and the connection between Ye Jiuhu and King Feng Peng has been established. Ye Jiuhu can feel King Feng Peng's emotions and state, and King Feng Peng can also feel Ye Jiuhu's will. Ye Jiuhu took advantage of the situation and released King Feng Peng. At this time, Ye Changsheng reminded Grandpa, you can feed it the 2nd level high-grade spiritual beast elixir I purchased for King Feng Peng to enhance our relationship. After hearing this, Ye Jiuhu's eyes flashed with light. He took the jade bottle handed over by Ye Changsheng and gently poured out a spirit beast pill exuding rich spiritual energy. Come on, King Feng. I will call you King Feng from now on. Ye Jiuhu said softly, stretched out his palm, and presented the spirit beast pill in front of King Feng Peng. A flash of intelligence flashed in King Feng Peng's eyes. He lowered his head, gently picked up the spirit beast pill, and swallowed it. Immediately, its body emitted a faint light, and it was obvious that the spiritual power contained in the spiritual beast pill was being absorbed by it. When Ye Changsheng saw this, he felt happy. He knew that this spirit beast pill would be of great help to King Fengpeng. He gently stroked King Fengpeng's feathers, and King Fengpeng also began to rub his head against Ye Changsheng. Tiger's arms show intimacy. Go, King Fengpeng, and feel the outside world. Ye Changsheng said softly. King Fengpeng opened his eyes, let out a cheerful cry, flapped his wings and flew high, flying around Ye Changsheng. It was extremely fast, leaving after images in the air. Ye Changsheng played with King Fengpeng for a while, and then waved gently, and King Fengpeng landed on his shoulder obediently. One person and one beast. The tacit understanding and trust between each other has been established. Seeing that the matter of grandfather's beast control was resolved, Ye Changsheng took out the spirit ascending array again. Grandpa, this is the spiritual emergence golden spring formation and the 8 accompanying spirit ascending pearls. After we ask the formation master to arrange it, the effect will reach the level of second order low grade spiritual veins. In the future, as long as we continue to add spiritual beads, the spiritual veins will eventually reach the second level high grade level. Okay, with the clan protection formation and the second level spiritual veins, our Ye family is truly a second level immortal clan worthy of the name. Ye Changsheng was very happy with the formation. When the other elders advance to foundation building, we will advance the spiritual veins of Kingsu Peak. By then, it will be more worthy of its name. Ye Changsheng said with a smile. Ye Changsheng was in a good mood. Ye Changsheng replied, and said some words to Ye Changsheng, before retreating. After more than 10 days, Ye Changsheng finally invited a second level formation mage from nearby Fangxi. This formation mage was wearing a Taoist robe, with a solemn expression, and held an ancient formation disc engraved with runes in his hand. Everyone in the Ye family knew that the Supreme Elder's private mountain was going to be promoted to spiritual veins, so they all came to watch. As soon as the formation master arrived at Kinghu Peak, he began to survey the terrain. The formation disc in his hand continued to rotate and emit a faint light. He walked all over the mountain, finally selected a central point with the best terrain, and began to arrange the formation. He first drew complex formations on the ground. Each stroke was extremely precise, as if there was an invisible force guiding his hand. Then, he took out 8 shimmering spiritual beads from the storage bag and carefully buried them in the formation pattern in specific directions. As the last spirit ascending bead was buried, the array master muttered words, quickly formed seals with his hands, and the array plate was suspended in the air, emitting a dazzling light. Suddenly, countless golden runes flew out of the array and landed on the array patterns, and the entire array was activated instantly. As soon as the formation was activated, Kinghu Peak began to vibrate, and the mountain made a rumbling sound, as if a giant dragon was awakening in the belly of the mountain. A golden light appeared faintly on the ground, gradually converging into spiritual springs that gush out from all over the mountain. The spiritual energy in the spiritual spring is rich and exudes a refreshing aroma, which instantly fills the entire valley. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49, Battle. The mountain is also constantly rising, as if it has been injected with new life force. The originally gentle hillside became steeper and towered into the clouds, and the outline of the mountain peak became more distinct, like a sharp sword pointing straight into the sky. With the continuous influx of spiritual energy, the spiritual grass in the mountains began to grow wildly. The spiritual herbs that originally grew sparsely became lush and green, growing into a dense spiritual medicine garden almost overnight. All kinds of spiritual herbs grow alternately, and even many rare elixirs begin to bear fruit under the nourishment of spiritual springs. This is an inevitable welfare that a city with spiritual vein promotion will have. When the Ye family witnessed all this, they were all amazed. Kinghu Peak, the Taishang Elder's private mountain peak, has become the holy land of Ye family's cultivation. After this promotion point, the Lingyang Golden Spring formation not only improved the level of the spiritual veins, but also gave the entire Qinghu Peak a new look, becoming a treasure land rich in spiritual energy and resources. After the spiritual veins stabilized, Ye Changsheng began to rearrange the spiritual orchard point. The spiritual grasses that grew wildly during the spiritual vein promotion process were basically at the first level, low grade level. After all, this was only the second level spiritual vein promotion, and Ye Changsheng didn't care about them since Qinghu Peak's spiritual veins advanced to the second level of low grade spiritual veins. Many high quality spiritual fields have appeared in Qinghu Peak point except for the area in the center of Qinghu Peak, where the aura concentration reaches the second level of low grade point in the middle and upper part of the mountain peak. The concentration of spiritual energy is all at the top level point. The spiritual energy concentration in the middle of the mountain peak is first level, mid-level point. Even the bottom of the mountain, which had no spiritual energy before, now has first level low grade spiritual energy point. In this way, Qinghu Peak suddenly has a lot more places where spiritual fields can be cultivated. After all, Qinghu Peak's second level spiritual veins were promoted, and Ye Changsheng was not prepared to take advantage of them too much. After further discussion with Grandpa Ye Jiuhu, they decided to cultivate 20 acres of the first level high grade spiritual land that had been transformed and promoted in the middle and upper part of Qinghu Peak. 50 acres of first level middle grade spiritual fields were selected in the middle of the mountain peak. 150 acres of first level lower grade spiritual fields were cultivated at the base of the mountain peak. He can freely grow the spiritual fields outside the plan, and he will still need them in the future. After all, Qinghu Peak cannot always only have second order low grade spiritual veins. Ye Changsheng opened another spiritual orchard in the middle and upper part of Qinghu Peak, which is the longevity peach orchard. Ye Changsheng had given birth to 2 first level life extending flat peach trees before, and recently he had given birth to 3 more. Ye Changsheng transplanted 5 flat peach trees into the new flat peach orchard. The rest of the previously built lingo garden located in the middle of Qinghu Peak grew there without taking care of it. After all, the spiritual veins of Qinghu Peak will be promoted later, and the concentration of spiritual veins in the spiritual orchard in the middle of Qinghu Peak will reach the first level high grade level sooner or later. Next, Ye Changsheng opened a second level spiritual orchard on the top of Qinghu Peak. There is only one second order loving kindness fruit tree transplanted from the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree. At this point, Ye Changsheng has completed transplanting, and there are still 2 spiritual trees in the space of the true dragon Immortal Tree. The second level high grade foundation building fruit tree, and the third level variety wood tree. These 2 trees are too valuable to the current Ye family and cannot be revealed. Ye Changsheng stood at the top of Qinghu Peak and looked down. Although he had such an incredible opportunity as the true dragon Immortal Tree, he had not saved much wealth for his family. There are only a dozen spiritual fruit trees, large and small, and most of them are first order, but it will be different when Ye Changsheng advances to foundation building. According to the message from the True Dragon Immortal Tree, the space of the True Dragon Immortal Tree will produce 1 drop of second level fairy dew every month. By then, the Ye family will probably become truly wealthy. Ye Changsheng returned to the retreat room of the Changsheng garden at the top of Qinghu Peak, took out the Qingyan pill that his grandfather Ye Jiuhu had replaced, swallowed 1 pill, and began to practice in retreat again. Ye Jiuhu has been in retreat these days, concentrating on practicing second level spells. However, on this day, he suddenly received an urgent message from the clan leader Ye Jialong, and had to leave the country. Jialong, why are you looking for me so urgently? Ye Jiuhu asked seriously. Ye Jialong looked solemn and said slowly, Jiuhu, we discovered a small spirit stone vein in a remote area thousands of miles away from home. This is very important to our Ye family. You know, we discovered a macro mineral vein more than 500 miles away from home more than 100 years ago. The annual output of spiritual stones is only more than 5,000 pieces. And this time the small spirit stone veins can produce at least 30,000 to 40,000 spirit stones annually, which will greatly alleviate our financial difficulties. Ye Jiuhu nodded and motioned for Ye Jialong to continue. So, I sent 3 elders and dozens of tribesmen to set up formations to protect the mines. However, the Huang family discovered our actions and sent their clansmen to fight for it. Although we defeated them, Huang Shu, the supreme elder of the Huang family, actually took action personally by bullying the small ones. With one blow, he killed the 4th elder Ye Jiang, seriously injured the 7th elder Ye Jialin and the 9th elder Ye Jiafeng. The ordinary clan members were killed and wounded more than 10 people, and the losses were heavy. Ye Zhelang sighed and continued, when we encountered this kind of situation in the past, we found good things and the GZHU family came to fight for them, but we always gave in. But now we are also the foundation establishment Immortal Clan. We mustered up the courage to resist, but we were bullied by the Huang family and suffered heavy losses. Now that our people have withdrawn, there is really no other way, so I came to ask to see you. After hearing this, Ye Jiu, who was filled with anger, and a cold light flashed in his eyes, he said coldly, Jialong, don't worry, I will solve this matter. Ye Jiu, who drove the flying boat and quickly arrived at the spirit stone vein point, his eyes were like torches, and he saw Huang Shu standing in front of the mine from a distance, sneering and waiting for his arrival. Huang Shu, Ye Jiu, who shouted, and the flying boat suddenly stopped. He jumped down from the air and landed steadily on the ground. Huang Shu snorted coldly, and a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes. Ye Jiu, you dare to come alone? You are really looking for death? Ye Jiu smiled coldly. Huang Shu, today I will seek justice for the dead members of my Ye family. Before he finished speaking, Ye Jiu suddenly made a move, condensed a green wind blade in his hand, and rushed straight to Huang Shu. Huang Shu was not willing to be outdone, and quickly pinched his fingers, and a flame shield condensed in front of him, blocking the attack of the wind blade. A trifle, Huang Shu sneered, and the spell in his hand changed, and a fire dragon gushed out from his palm, and rushed straight to Ye Jiu. Ye Jiu was not in a hurry. He dodged the attack of the fire dragon with a flash. At the same time, he condensed a ball of lightning in his hand and threw it towards Huang Shu. The lightning turned into several electric snakes in the air and quickly approached Huang Shu. Huang Shu's face changed, and he quickly offered a golden shield to block the attack of lightning. The electric snake hit the shield, making a sharp explosion and sparks flying. It seems that you have some skills, Huang Shu said coldly, and the spell in his hand changed again. A long whip of fire extended from his hand and suddenly whipped towards Ye Jiu. Chapter 50 Defeat. Ye Jiu dodged the attack of the flame whip with a flicker of his body, and at the same time, he condensed an ice sword in his hand and stabbed Huang Shu. The ice sword drew a cold light in the air and approached Huang Shu with a biting cold point. Huang Shu's face darkened, and he swung the flame whip in his hand suddenly, hitting the ice sword. The flame and ice sword collided, making a violent explosion, and flames and ice chips flew everywhere. The two of them fought back and forth, and the moves kept changing, and the battle became more and more intense. Ye Jiu's magic formula changed, and wind blades, lightning, and ice swords attacked Huang Shu one after another, while Huang Shu resisted and counterattacked with flame shields, fire dragons, and flame whips. The battle lasted for a while, and both sides seemed a little tired. Ye Jiu and Huang Shu took a few steps back at the same time and began to remotely control their respective magic weapons. Ye Jiu sacrificed his own magic weapon, Purple Lightning Sword, and the Purple Lightning Sword drew a purple electric light in the air and went straight to Huang Shu. Huang Shu was not to be outdone and used his own magic weapon, the Red Flame Blade, which could launch a fiery flame attack. The red flame blade ignited a blazing flame in the air, heading for the purple lightning sword. The purple lightning sword and the red flame blade collided in the air, making a deafening explosion, with lightning and flames flying everywhere. Ye Jiu quickly made a gesture, and the purple lightning sword flashed with lightning, slashing towards Huang Shu. Huang Shu quickly swung his sword to block, but the lightning was transmitted along the blade to his body, instantly paralyzing him. Ye Jiu seized the opportunity and quickly used another magic weapon, the Golden Bell Shield, which could form a shield and reduce the consumption of spiritual power. The Golden Bell Shield protected Ye Jiu and he quickly made a gesture, and the purple lightning sword once again emitted a strong lightning, directly hitting Huang Shu. Huang Shu screamed, and his body was blown away by the lightning, and he fell heavily to the ground. Spurting blood from his mouth, Huang Shu knew that he was no match for Ye Jiuhu, so he struggled to get up and used another magic weapon, the fire spirit shield, to generate a flame shield to resist the attack. Huang Shu's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness, and he decided to use his trump card. The spell in his hand changed, and a flame talisman appeared in his palm, which was a second level medium grade talisman. 9. Fire chain talisman. Huang Shu shouted, and the talisman suddenly burst out with 9 flames, rushing straight at Ye Jiuhu. Ye Jiuhu's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness, and he quickly slapped a second level top grade solid rock shield talisman on his body, and the solid rock shield instantly wrapped him up. The 9 flames hit the shield, making a deafening explosion, but they could not break through the shield's defense. It's my turn, Ye Jiuhu sneered, and quickly took out a second level top grade sharp gold storm talisman in his hand and suddenly activated it. The talisman burst out countless golden wind blades, forming a violent storm that rushed straight to Huang Shu. Huang Shu's face changed drastically, and he quickly sacrificed his defensive magic weapon, fire spirit shield, to resist the attack. However, the golden storm was so powerful that it instantly broke his fire spirit shield, and then successively broke the 2 second level medium grade protective talismans on his body. Huang Shu screamed. His body was blown away by the storm, and he fell heavily to the ground, spitting blood from his mouth. He knew that he was no match for Ye Jiuhu, so he struggled to get up and turned to escape. Ye Jiuhu looked coldly at Huang Shu's escaping back and did not chase him. He knew that too much was as bad as too little, so he turned around and drove the flying boat back to the Ye family. Ye Jiuhu drove the flying boat back to the Ye family, and as soon as he landed, he was surrounded by a group of clansmen. Everyone's face was full of expectation and tension, and they all cast inquiring eyes at him. Ye Jiuhu smiled slightly and said loudly, Huang Shu has been defeated by me, and the spiritual stone vein is now in the hands of our Ye family again. As soon as the voice fell, the whole Ye family was boiling. The clansmen cheered and were so excited that they could not restrain themselves. Among the clansmen gathered in the square, some were excitedly whispering to each other, while others were staring at this legendary figure in the family with admiration. It's unbelievable that our Ye family finally has a supreme elder in the foundation building period, a middle-aged clan member said with emotion. Yes, the strength of the supreme elder is simply unfathomable. The supreme elder of the Huang family was defeated by him. A young clan member next to him responded excitedly, his voice full of pride. Yes, our Ye family finally has a master in the foundation building period. Let's see who dares to look down on us in the future. A female clan member said excitedly. Yes, now our Ye family's status in the world of immortal cultivation will be greatly improved. With a cultivator in the foundation building period, the road ahead will be much easier. An elderly clan member stroked his beard, his face full of satisfaction. Ye Jiulan looked at Ye Jiuhu, his eyes full of admiration, and bowed deeply. Sir Jiuhu, you have made great contributions to the Ye family. I would like to thank you on behalf of all the people in the Ye family. With you, the Ye family will surely prosper in the future. Ye Jiuhu smiled slightly, with a humble attitude. The clan leader is too kind. I just did my best. The strength of the Ye family requires the joint efforts of each of us. The Ye family then sent people to occupy the spirit stone veins and summoned mortal warriors to prepare for mining. Although it was known that if the news of the spirit stone veins was leaked, the ownership of the spirit stone veins would not be so simple, but it would not delay the Ye family's mining now. A few days later, the Zifu Liu family summoned Ye Jiuhu to discuss matters and prepare to mediate the matter. Ye Jiuhu did not dare to neglect and drove the flying boat at lightning speed for half a day to arrive at the Liu family. A few days later, the Zifu Liu family summoned Ye Jiuhu to discuss matters and prepare to mediate the matter. Ye Jiuhu did not dare to neglect and drove the flying boat at lightning speed for half a day to arrive at the Liu family. Liu, the foundation building patriarch of the Liu family, came out to receive them personally, with a barely perceptible smile on his face. Deo Ye Jiuhu, I have long heard of your great name. Please follow me. Ye. Jiuhu nodded slightly and followed Liu into the meeting hall. Point in the hall, Huangshu, the representative of the Huang family, was already present, with a gloomy face, obviously still brooding over the previous failure. Liu sat in the main seat and said straight to the point, today, I have summoned the two Daoists to mediate the dispute between you. After all, everyone is part of the world of immortal cultivation, and harmony brings wealth is the right way. Ye. Jiuhu glanced at Huangshu coldly, then turned to Liu. Master Liu, Huangshu bullied the weak and caused heavy casualties in my Ye family. This matter cannot be let go. Huangshu snorted coldly and was about to refute, but Liu waved his hand, signaling him to calm down. Dao Ye, I understand your anger, but this spiritual stone vein is close to the Huang family after all, and the Huang family naturally has certain interests. Ye Jiuhu frowned slightly and said firmly, Master Liu, Huangshu not only robbed the mineral veins, but also killed my Ye family members and seriously injured many elders. Shouldn't this behavior be punished? Liu's face changed slightly, and he was obviously dissatisfied with Ye Jiuhu's tough attitude, but he still maintained a superficial harmony. Friend Ye, the Huang family and our Liu family are in-laws, and we don't want things to get out of hand. How about this? The Huang family takes out 10% of the mineral veins as compensation. Huangshu's face sank, and he was obviously very dissatisfied with this proposal, but because of Liu's face, he did not refute it immediately. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.